I've been known to blow my top, but nothing ticks me off more than seeing a fellow biker getting a raw deal after a crash. Call my good friends at Dudley DeBosier.
Just like Paul knows how to build motorcycles,
we know how to handle motorcycle cases.
Non-lawyer spokesperson.
Baton Rouge, responsible attorney Chad Dudley.
Hey, Mom, can I take the Rogue out tonight?
Okay, but remember, always use your turn signal. And watch for pedestrians, and call me when you get there and when you leave. No texting and driving. Both hands on the...
Help them stay safe on the road, even when you're not in the passenger seat. With available Safety Shield 360 on the 2020 Nissan Rogue, it surrounds them with 6 available safety features that can help sense potential danger and help keep them safe, so they can feel more confident behind the wheel, and you can feel more confident handing over the keys. This is all around protection. This is Nissan Intelligent Mobility. Save up to $3,000 or get a low $199 per month lease on the 2020 Rogue. Experience the 2020 Nissan Rogue today. Shop your local Nissan store and nissanusa.com. $3,000 on 2020 Rogue consists of $2,500 cash back and $500 bonus cash for well-qualified lessees. $54.98 initial payment for 36 months on 2020 Rogue. Initial payment amounts excludes tax, title, license, $650 acquisition fee. Disposition fee due at lease end. Call 1-888-858-8319 for offer and safety information. Ends 9/30/20.
Every Wednesday night, catch the Coach O Show right here on Eagle 98.1 from 7 until 8 p.m. Listen or call in with your questions each and every week to get the latest information on the Tigers. On-air coverage brought to you locally by Ochsner Baton Rouge on Eagle 98.1.
Don't put your life on the line. Do what the pros do. Call 811 before you dig. Wait for the site to be marked. And always, always dig with care. LA One Call.
Judge Wall, I looked up to you when you were my Little League coach. We respected you in the courtroom, and now we're excited you're a part of the Dudley DeBosier
Lawyers.
Good morning at 7 a.m. on Monday, September the 28th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect to see thunderstorms with a high of 85. Coming up today on Off the Bench, presented by All-Star Toyota, LSU Senior Associate Athletic Director Verge Osbury joins the show at 7:30 a.m. Our latest weekend winners at 8, and Sports Illustrated's Ross Dellinger stops by at 8:30. Barstool's Brandon Walker will also be here at 9:30. Follow today's show on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN. Watch live over at the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. Get inside the Bayou Ford chat and subscribe to the Off the Bench and Off the Bench Overtime channels. Set your notifications. New content is posted there daily. Hour number 1 of OTB starts right now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Off and at it off the bench, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, 100.3 ESPN Radio in New Orleans, 94.7 ESPN Alexandria. Always online at 1045ESPN.com. Good Monday morning to you. Jordy Collada, T-Bob Hebert, Matthew Musso, Danny Cardenas here with you until 10 a.m. this morning. 8:30, we'll talk college football with Ross Dellinger, Verge Osbury, Senior Executive Deputy Director of Athletics from LSU, will stop by at 7:30, answer some questions about the weekend from LSU as they got their first taste of football inside Tiger Stadium. Tigers' first national champ to fall since 1998 in the opener. We got all types of sights and sounds to give you from that game coming up here on Off the Bench. Daily powered by All-Star Toyota. Search us on YouTube. You can find us at the 104.5 ESPN station. We got weekend winners coming up an hour from now. How are we feeling, big fella?
I feel good, man. I feel good. Rewatching a game, really diving into it last night was interesting. Film review is back. Last year, rewatching games is more of just a celebration or a coronation. Now we're actually diving in and we're trying to see where you misstepped, what you can fix. What views that we had originally that were wrong, that we're dialing it back a bit, what views revealed themselves. So we will get to all of that today. And look, I think there's a lot of reason for hope. So we'll see a lot of room for improvement. Literally nowhere you can go but up in a few different areas.
After the Saints game last night, our pets' heads are falling off. Here are your headlines on this Monday, September 28th.
Headlines on Off the Bench.
Drew Brees completed 29 of 36 passes for 288 yards and 3 scores, while Aaron Rodgers passed for 283 and 3 touchdowns of his own, and the Packers scored 10 points in the final 9 minutes to pull out a 37-30 victory over the New Orleans Saints on Sunday Night Football. The Saints fell to 1-2 on the season. Here is Sean Payton after last night's loss.
We're not doing enough of the little things well enough to win on a consistent basis. We're going to watch the tape. There'll be some encouraging things, and yet, as a team, there's too many details that we have to improve on. That starts with us as coaches, myself, starting with me. But the turnover battle we thought would be important now, and ended up just being 1 versus 0, and yet that's pretty significant. But there were parts of the way the game was unfolding that was encouraging early on, and then I thought as it went on, we didn't play as well in the second half.
Do we count turnover on downs as turnovers? No? I mean, we should.
I don't know if it counts in the stat sheet.
It doesn't. So it was essentially 1-1, but the Saints turnover far more impactful as that Taysom Hill fumble is, I mean, it's where the game turned. It's just, if you want to point to a single kind of crux point, that's it.
Saints have not lost back-to-back games, or they've lost back-to-back games for the first time since 2017. Saints running back Alvin Kamara was sensational last night. He had 197 yards from scrimmage, scored twice on short passes from Brees. Left guard Andrews Peat was carted off the field after Kamara was tackled into the offensive lineman's lower leg. He was rolled up. Saints said Pete injured his ankle. Nothing more to report there. Saints will visit Detroit on Sunday. Here was Drew Brees talking about Kamara's night.
Listen, he's a special football player. You know, he rattled off that big run early on, and then obviously the check down that turned into a 52-yard touchdown. It's nice when you've got a weapon like that you just get the ball in his hands in space, and he's tough to tackle, and it's kind of a human highlight reel. Yeah,
beautiful 52-yard touchdown pass by Drew Brees there. I know Alvin Kamara was he was unreal last night, and it's really good to see. But you are desperately missing Michael Thomas. I mean, think about it, right? The Saints don't want to push the ball downfield. This entire offense is built upon what Brees can do, mid to intermediate range, whatever. I don't know if they realize it, Jordan, but over the last 3 years, they've kind of made this offense in Michael Thomas's image. And what's wild to me is you are seeing
marriage.
Yeah. And he's the best in the league in Michael Thomas. So what you are seeing is kind of shocking. The absence of Mike Thomas actually feels more impactful than the absence of Drew Brees did last season. That's partially because Saints offense, because where they're at relative to their competition. But yeah, man, you need Mike back as soon as you can.
Saints visit, as we said, on the road. They'll be on the road Sunday as they'll visit Detroit. LSU football dropped to number 20 in the AP Top 25 after its 44-34 loss to Mississippi State on Saturday. The Tigers dropped to number 17 in the coaches poll. KJ Costello passed for an SEC record 623 yards and 5 touchdowns as the Bulldogs knocked off 6th-ranked LSU 44-34. As we said, the Tigers became the first defending national champion to lose its opening game since Michigan in '98 lost at Notre Dame and had its 16-game winning streak snapped at LSU. LSU played without 2 of 3 returning starters on defense, including one of the top players in the nation, All-American cornerback Derek Stingley Jr., who also returns punts, was hospitalized overnight Friday after falling acutely ill, according to LSU, and added that Stingley was expected. Michael Bonnet emphasized that the illness was not COVID-19 related and added that Stingley was expected to rejoin the team after being evaluated by physicians. Senior defensive tackle Glenn Logan was also scratched from the lineup. Stingley Sr. updated The Athletic on Sunday is that Derek had made it home. He was discharged on Saturday night and is doing well. Coach Orgeron said that he expects Stingley to be back with the team here pretty soon. Jacoby Stevens was speaking post-game about some of the woes on defense Saturday afternoon.
That's something that we're going to go look at Sunday.
and Monday, on Tell the Truth Monday. The best thing we can do right now is not point any fingers, but go attack the problem, not the people. But the best thing to do, right now I can't say if it's scheme or if it was actually Mississippi State what they ran, but I guarantee I can make a promise that we're gonna get it fixed.
Jacoby Stevens actually had a pretty nice game.
Yeah.
Ollie
sacks?
Gay. Did he? I think, and then he had.
No, he had one sack and
He had
a
one on
fumble
the first
recovery.
drive, and
He had two fumble recoveries, I think, by games
and I
in.
think
Did
he
he
had
not?
a strip. I think the strip sack, and then he recovered the fumble.
Yeah. So no, he had a nice game. Ollie Gay had a nice game. The defensive woes are really not that hard to parse through. You put young corners into constant bump and run tight man coverage. You didn't actually blitz as much as I thought you did, but constant bump and run tight man coverage, despite the fact that time and time again they showed you we cannot play tight bump and run man coverage.
I didn't understand why you wouldn't get out of it. It felt very Les Miles-ish.
That was in my opening rant Saturday night. I didn't think about it going into the rant, and then that just naturally came about when ranting. I agree. It felt.
What are you watching?
So we'll break that down.
Get out of man to man.
So we'll break that down because I've reached out to some of my old defensive teammates and tried to be like, why would you do this? And the most common answer that I got is that they probably don't think they're good at zone. They probably didn't practice zone that much.
Coach, get a whiteboard and draw up an area and tell the players not to leave that area.
Hey,
it can't be that hard.
There's an FDR quote that applies here that will absolutely get you. And I agree with you. I'm just trying to, I'm trying to see, because it looks so obvious to us. How do we put ourselves in their head? But no doubt, a really tough case for Pelini to make this morning, getting $2.3 million for that performance. For Coach O to answer this morning when he's talking about how you're light years ahead of where you were recently. And they were put in bad spots personnel-wise, absolutely. But that does not excuse. And also, man, third down. I mean, you saw it in Saints Raiders. You saw it the other day. We can go down the third and long chart.
I think all three of their touchdowns, the last three touchdowns came on third and long.
I got it right here, dude.
Third and
they
long.
completed a 3rd and 13. They got a 3rd and 20. They got a 3rd and 10 that went for a touchdown. They got a 3rd and 10 that went for a touchdown right before the half.
How about they come out of the defensive timeout in the fourth quarter? They call a defensive timeout to make sure that the defense is lined up right. They come out of the timeout. They got two running by themselves.
And then with 3:46 left in the game, another 3rd and 9. What happens? Touchdown. In the end, KJ Costello goes 7 of 10 on third down with 3 touchdowns and 7 first downs.
NFL
That's how you
SU
lose.
Chicago beat the Atlanta Falcons 30-26. Somehow the Falcons found another way to lose yesterday. Musso was here. Joseph Rodriguez experienced for the first time with 10 minutes left in the game. Hannah Griff sat in this chair and said, boys, I'm going to tell you how this game's going to end. And at that time, Atlanta had the ball with a 2-score lead. They were up 10 with 10 minutes left. And Hanny said this game is going to end with the Bears winning 30-26. And when the gun went final, the Bears were up 30-26, and the Chicago Bears are 3-0 in the season. I don't see how Dan Quinn makes it to Tuesday.
You can't, dude.
I just don't see.
So the stat, remember how everybody was all over the Schefter stat last week? Or what Schefter stat? The next gen stat. The new one, Jordy, is that no team in NFL history has blown 2 15-point fourth quarter leads in the same season. Nobody's done it in the history of the same season. The Falcons just did it back-to-back weeks. And you know that win probability chart that we're always looking at for fun? Back-to-back weeks, 99% win probabilities in that fourth quarter with that big lead, and they blow it, dude. So, yeah, quit. I mean, at this point, who tweeted this? God, I can't remember. But somebody said it's got to be a bit. Right, like they're doing a bit. Like it can't be serious. They're like, it's unfathomable how bad. Also, those 3-0 Bears, the teams that they've beaten have not won a game. 0-9.
Russell Gage had 2 catches for 26 yards. He left to be evaluated for a concussion. I know. Atlanta 0-3 became the first team in NFL history to lose back-to-back games.
There
as
you go.
T-Bob just told you. Bills 35, Rams 32. Brockers had 3 tackles. Trey White had a tackle. Browns won 34-30 over Washington.
Wait, I want to jump in on the Rams game real quick because misery loves company. And as sad as we are today, my petty self takes a little bit of pleasure from the Falcons blowing it and the Rams losing on a controversial PI call. That's mwah.
Odell Beckham Jr. had 4 grabs for 59 yards. Juice had 4 catches for 36 yards. Minnesota beat Tennessee 31-20. Justin Jefferson.
No, I think
flipped that. That's right. Tennessee beat Minnesota 31-20, but Justin Jefferson went off yesterday.
Yeah.
7 catches, 175 yards, a touchdown that he took 71 yards to the house and danced his way from the 5-yard line in. Christian Fulton had 2 solo tackles, a sack, a tackle for loss, and also had a quarterback hit. The New England Patriots beat the Las Vegas Raiders 36-20. Foster Moreau had 2 catches for 25 yards, including a score. Arden Key had a pass defense. 49ers beat the Giants 36-9. Quan Alexander had a tackle. Tampa Bay beat Denver 28-10. Leonard Fournette, 7 carries, 15 yards, 2 catches, 7 yards. Devin White had 7 tackles. Lloyd Cushenberry also recovered a fumble. The Bengals beat the Eagles.
Get on that stat sheet, boy.
Bengals beat the Eagles, Bengals tied the Eagles 23-23. Joey with a big day. 31 of 42, 312 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was sacked 8 times on Sunday. He's taken a beating through the first 3 weeks.
Holds on the ball too long. No, I'm just kidding. Did you do that one hit that he took where his feet literally came off the ground?
And it was legal.
How about this, though? Joey B, NFL record 91 completions in his first 3 NFL games.
Bengals 23-23 over tied the Eagles. Panthers 21-16 over the Chargers. Dante Jackson had another interception, 66-yard return, no score there. Pat Pete had a tackle as the Detroit, how about the Lions beat the Cardinals 26-23. And yet yesterday afternoon, Seattle beat Dallas 38-31. Jamal Adams had 2 tackles, 1 quarterback hit. Tonight, Monday Night Football, Chiefs at Ravens. The Heat won the Eastern Conference Finals. They'll play the Los Angeles Lakers. Game 1 of the NBA Finals. We're running way too long here. Verge Osbury coming up in 15 minutes off the bench. All-Star Toyota.
Off the Bench with Jordy Culotta and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Daily brought to you by All-Star Toyota. Remember, All-Star Toyota is online at allstartoyotaofbatonrouge.com. They're conveniently located for you on the corner of Goodwood and Airline. They've been there since 2005. All 3 departments open and operating this morning for you. Collision, sales, and service. Stop in and check out the service department. Even if you're not a part of the All-Star family, you can stop in for an oil change and alignment to get going today over at All-Star Toyota. Great sales crew as well. Aaron Piku, let them show you around and shop the inventory. Brand new cars and used and pre-owned and certified inventory as well.
All-Star Toyota, BatonRouge.com. All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com. If you're in a tough spot, you need a rent, they got your back as well. Ask for Miss Lisa Sessions. Tell me Wagon and Service Department make it very easy for you. And maybe it's just a weekend, right? You go to Disney or something. You want like a minivan, they got your back. Look, Toyota certified used vehicles you should check out as well. Go to All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com today.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
During times of trouble, hope keeps us calm, and courage keeps us strong. Here in Louisiana, we know this better than most. After all, we've faced hardship, but hurricanes and floods never washed away what makes us strong. It's our culture, the spirit of resilience that says rise and rise up again. We'll make it through the tough times, we always do. And Blue Cross will always be here to support you.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
T-Bob Abear here with breaking news. Front to Back Boat Services is the shop to upgrade your boat tech this fall. With not one, but 2 NMEA certified techs, who better to install your Panoptic sonar, your HD displays. You want to see the fish under the water before you even cast? They have that. Trolling motor you could control with your iPhone? They have that. So what are you waiting for? Get into Front to Back Boat Services right now. Upgrade your boat tech. Make your boating dreams come true. Front to Back Boat Services.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of them.
It's a Monday edition of Game Time with Jimmy Ott and Ben Mintz. The guys recap all their picks from over the weekend, including LSU, Mississippi State, and Saints versus Packers. We're live from Ivar's Bar and Grill from 6 to 8 p.m. on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Abear. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Verge Allsbury coming up in 10 minutes here on Off the Bench. Remember, we'll talk more college football with Ross Dellinger stopping by as the SEC got going. I will tell you, if you're in the state of Mississippi and you are a fan of Mississippi football, there is a lot to be positive about. Now, Florida went in to Vaught Hemingway and ran up and down the field.
I don't know if I want to put Leach in the same category as Kiffin on Leach status just yet, but Kiffin had some
just
nice
exciting
moments. Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you talk about drawing up and Matt Corral and putting those guys in spots to make plays. I mean, the offense is much more advanced than it has been, in the last couple of years in Oxford. And obviously, you got a front row seat to what Mike Leach in Mississippi State, as Mike Leach put the rest of the country on notice.
If he didn't outcoach you, I don't know what.
He ran circles around him. I mean, forget the coaching aspect. I mean, he did it with a group of guys that he's not recruited. He's done it with a group of guys. He's doing it with a group of guys.
But this is something that we talked about in the Hold That podcast, and I eventually backed off this because I kept getting shut down, but these are the best athletes that Mike Leach has ever had. Like, even if they,
collective group.
Yes, yes, they're
not.
not.
And it's like receivers.
And we know that Mississippi State, their athletes are not, on the level of some of these other SEC schools, but it's still far and above what he had at Texas Tech or what he had at Washington State. And then it's all about the quarterback, and he got that guy in Costello who had the talent, transfer guy, who through injuries and having a really good young guy behind him had lost his job, had to find fortune elsewhere. It's a lot of similarities to how Burrow and LSU came together last season in terms of both really needing each other and both providing what the other needs.
It was almost a perfect storm feel on Saturday morning when you got the news that Derek Stingley Jr. had been hospitalized on Friday night and he was going to miss the game on Saturday. When you talked about the matchup. Now, first and foremost, everything around Stingley Jr. is being reported that he is going to be okay. He's been released from the hospital on Saturday evening. His father, Stingley Sr., who will be here tomorrow at 8 o'clock a.m., updated and gave a report to The Athletic that he was released from the hospital Saturday afternoon, and Orgeron actually made a comment after the game and said that he expected him back with the team at some point over the next couple of days. So look for Stingley to be back back with the team at some point here over the next couple of days.
So, I mean, look, I say we just dive into this game.
So that's what I'm saying. I think that's what, to start the day.
Yeah,
The news started with your best defensive back being taken out of the game very unexpectedly against a team coming in that you knew was going to throw it 60 times. Now, I will say this as a caveat on this. I think if Stingley Jr. is playing on Saturday, he does not diminish the loss for LSU. He may take away 150 to 200 yards of passing on the day, but remember, Costello threw for over 600 on the afternoon. So I still think after watching Mike Leach, his game plan, that he's smart enough to script up open space if Derek Stingley Jr. is still on the field. If he's taken away a half of the field, I still say that he provides some type of threat for LSU, but I don't think he's the ultimate difference maker on Saturday just because of how stubborn LSU was defensively. I can't think or see a plan where Leach could have just stayed away from him. I do see a plan where Leach could have just stayed away from him because he was so creative, and then also LSU was playing almost into his hand because they wouldn't adjust.
Yeah, I mean, they were absolutely playing into his hand.
They were running the same play in the first quarter that they were running in the fourth quarter and biting off chunks of 18, 22 yards at a time.
Well, and what becomes especially damning about that is what Mike Leach is known for. It's kind of like the Remember the Titans thing. He's known for running a smaller amount of plays, but just drilling them to perfection. You heard Danielson talking about it on Saturday, so he knows what to do.
His play chart's a cue card.
Yeah, so he knows what to do against every scenario. So, like, if you're going to hit him with the same scenario and he's having success every single time, he's just going to continue to hammer it home. And so watching that defensive performance, what I couldn't help but be reminded of is this old FDR quote from when he was running against Hoover during the press. And he says, "It is common sense to take a method and try it. If it fails, admit it frankly and try another. But above all, try something." And this was said during the Depression when Hoover's response to the Depression was exactly what you saw Saturday. It was just to stay the course and hope that results would change. And results didn't change. And so the immediate question becomes, why did you not at least try zone? You were playing tight man coverage too. You could have even backed off on your man, but you're playing tight bump and run man coverage. You're consistently getting burned in all the areas where that struggles. Crossing routes, Kylan Hill out the backfield, that tight bump and run coverage, and how how Mississippi State was able to run out defenders and create all this space field. Kylan Hill was licking his chops. He got the ball in the open field every time where he's one-on-one with the linebacker. Like, he'll win that battle 9 out of 10 times.
You want to talk about a weekend winner? Kylan Hill is seeing his NFL stock go through the ceiling. I mean, that had to be Mike Leach's recruiting pitch to Kylan Hill over the summer. Hey, man, you may be a second or third rounder now. Come back for your senior season. We'll throw you the ball out of the backfield. We'll target you in the passing game. We will show people at the next level that you can be a versatile back, a lot like Clyde Edwards-Helaire was last season. And when you've got one-on-one with Kylan Hill streaking down the sideline and you've got the boundary as a defender, you've got to shove him out of bounds.
Well, missed tackles were their own massive problem on the day as well. Like, that's, if you want to know how you get to an SEC record 600 yards of the air given up, it's everything, right? There's so many contributing factors, and missed tackles would be chief among them. So if they never even tried any quarters coverage, any cover 3, give the guys and then mix in some man. If they never even tried that, the question is why? Okay, and after watching the film, I was very frustrated with Pelini. I remain frustrated with Coach Pelini. That said, he didn't blitz as much as I thought. You could tell he backed off a little bit at the end because he was like, we're getting burned. It just that he stayed in the tight man-to-man coverage and continued to get burned. But yeah, why not play zone? And when I asked that question, like, I'm trying to come up with the case, and there's a couple options. Were you just too lazy to install it in the offseason? No, obviously. Like, I don't think laziness comes into play with any of these guys. So, Jordy, I mean, where I land,
I think they got caught.
They didn't expect anybody, least of all Mississippi State, to be able to force them out of man. But to me, not having a contingency plan, that's damning in its own right. The fact that you didn't even, it speaks to definitely a pride comes before the fall sort of thing. You believed in yourself so much and were so prideful that you didn't think. You thought if we're LSU, if we play our traditional bump and run tight man coverage, no one will be able to beat us. And then someone does, and you got caught with your pants down, and you did not know what to do.
Well, what is most discouraging about that method, because I buy into it, is that even within the game, when you recognize that the onslaught we can't keep up with, we have to adjust, you still didn't make adjustments.
Yeah, I mean, no, and that's where it just goes back to the Les Miles thing. It felt like watching a Les Miles offense, but on defense. And for Costello, I mean, he was like in his chops. His reads were so easy. He knew, and credit to the Mississippi State offensive line, because one of the reasons why they had to back off of blitzing as well is that they consistently made LSU pay by picking up the blitz and Costello hitting the right decision.
And like T, you can go into this because you know a lot more football than I'll ever know. But I was just going back and watching some of the film last night, or just some of the replay last night from the TV copy, and looking at the defensive linemen line up against these big splits. Why do you line up head up on these guys? Why don't you play the gaps?
I would have to. I don't know. I'm going to say I don't have a great answer for that. I'm going to have to rewatch. The Mississippi State guys were just winning though. I mean, outside of Ali Gay, who consistently won his battles, Mississippi State was just winning the one-on-ones on the line. They were winning the one-on-ones. Actually, I called the Cannon after the game, and that's what he was most disappointed in. He thought LSU just got beat up. He thought Mississippi State just looked tougher. They were pushing you around, and you weren't really doing anything back. And granted, this goes hand in hand with having a poor game, but the sideline looked dead. Felt like a bit of a void of leadership on both sides of the ball in terms of getting them up. So, yeah, look, I mean, when you look at this game, it has to start with the defensive performance. The third downs were terrible. As we said, I rattled off all those third and longs, or 3rd and 9 or longer. And on 3rd and 9s or longer, KJ Costello throws 3 touchdowns. And big spots, too, right before half, at the end of the game to close out the game. And then you give up an SEC record yards overall. So it has to start with the defense, but there's other areas that must improve as well. Like I have a whole list of Miles Brennan here. We'll get there. The only thing is with the offense and with Brennan, you saw there's actually more good in there than I think people realized at the time Saturday, because that game felt so terrible overall. Like there's a lot of building blocks that you can work with.
Verge Osbury next.
Off the Bench with Collada and T-Bob.
Brought to you daily here on Off the Bench by AccuTemp. Remember, over at AccuTemp, they offer up that great Tiger tune-up if you text halftime that we'll tell you about later in the week. That's only for home games. Hopefully you experience that over the weekend. But all the time you can experience AccuTemp, which is Baton Rouge's top-rated air conditioning, heating, and electrical company. Also the official AC provider of LSU sports. AccuTemp is a full-scale HVAC and electrical company with proven expertise. You can look online at AccuTempBR.com to figure out more of the information. You can call them also at 351-0252.
Yeah, I really can't reinforce enough, I think, how impressed me and Jordy came away from our trip to AccuTemp. I mean, you want to talk about a company that does things the right way for their employees and their customers. It's how they hold that 4.9 Google rating despite having over 1,200 reviews. It is as enjoyable of an experience as you could possibly have for something that you need to do for your home. So go to AccuTempBR.com, AccuTempBR.com.
Off the Bench, hanging with Esther and Hanny, after further review and more, are all live daily on the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge YouTube channel. Subscribe now to interact with us inside the live chat driven by Bayou Ford.
Hi, this is Chance Inman, President and Chief Operating Officer for Janney King Gulf Coast. Here are some ways to protect yourself and those around you from the coronavirus. Wash your hands often and thoroughly. Cover coughs and sneezes with your elbow. Disinfect high-touch surfaces regularly. Use non-contact methods for greeting others. And avoid touching your face. Following these steps, as well as social distancing, should help all of us stay healthy.
Gulf Coast Bank & Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank & Trust, the bank that cares about you.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments.
As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Master Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
T-Bob Hebert here with breaking news. Front to Back Boat Services is the shop to upgrade your boat tech this fall. With not one, but 2 NMEA certified techs, who better to install your Panoptic sonar, your HD displays. You want to see the fish under the water before you even cast? They have that. Trolling motor you could control with your iPhone? They have that. So what are you waiting for? Get into Front to Back Boat Services right now. Upgrade your boat.
Yo, join us for an expanded Hanging with Hester and Hanny presented by Richards Honda on Monday. We'll get things kicked off at 10 o'clock live from Sammy's Grill in Baton Rouge and go all the way until 3. Join us on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, stick around. Ross Dellinger will stop by here in an hour, talk college football with us. Your weekend winners coming up at 8 o'clock this morning. Every week, we start you off on Mondays talking to the Executive Deputy Director of Athletics over at LSU, Verge Osbury, as Verge and the crew back at it this morning after an opening weekend of SEC football. We saw Tiger Stadium for the first time, 25,000 in capacity, and you saw the record this weekend. Did you see this? Only 2 home teams won in the Southeastern Conference. 5 road teams came in and won. So I mean, this home field advantage is absolutely dissolved with the capacity. Verge, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Jordy. How you doing this morning?
What did you make of the overall production? Before we get to the field, what did you make of the overall just kind of getting this thing underway and inviting people to campus during this time?
You know, Jordy, overall, we think it went very well. And like I told our listeners earlier, you had problems, you had complaints. Call us this morning. We'll try to get through that by the next game in 2 weeks. We were so happy that our fans, they went to the website and they had the directions already, what they need to do to enter. So it was a smooth transition. Our fans went to our website, read what was out there, and they did and followed the instructions of what to do to enter the stadium. So we were very happy with how that process went. We were just going to sit here and get things together for 2 weeks to go for the next home game and make sure everything's in line and make sure, we have corrections. We all walked around, checked things out, made notes so we could pass it on to our operations staff so what we need to correct for the next game.
Verge, let's dive into the game. And I think the question where we have to start, and I would love to ask you because you are a defensive player, how do you explain in that game where you're playing this tight man bump and run coverage and you are consistently losing out on those battles? How do you explain sticking with that same strategy throughout the entirety of the game to the tune of 623 yards passing?
Yeah, Jordy, I'm telling you the pros and the cons of this game. Let's start with the cons. Let's start with that. And I had an opportunity yesterday. I went to watch the fourth quarter, and I went to the film room and I watched it by myself, just going back and forth, looking at every play. In some plays we just got beat, and sometimes you thought, man in zone is pretty tricky. You don't know. Sometimes zone turns into man.
Yep.
You don't want that guy out there and the guy running out there. That last touchdown, we were in zone.
Yep.
The guy just got ran by. I mean, you got to turn your hips and make a play. And, that goes back to when you're playing that many. When I look at Mississippi State roster, before the games, I look at the rosters of the teams. I just look at how, Stingley was out and Glenn Logan out. You had 3 starters from last year's team back out there. You had freshmen and high school kids and, guys out there playing on the field that never took a snap in a game. You look at Mississippi State roster, and I see juniors and seniors at, predominantly all these positions. And right there, the experience went to Mississippi State. So young guys out there, you saw a lot of times the pick play that they were running was very difficult to play. You got to get in the hip and do things. An experienced player could do that. A freshman player, you ask them to do some things that, they really, hadn't seen before. And that was the catch there. I look back at the film, we had a lot of guys who were just trying to figure it out, who were very young players who didn't start. Also, usually we have a game to warm up. You play at like a North Texas or a smaller school, FCS school to warm up. Hey, young guys have to realize now, you start with the SEC. It's like the NFL. Every game counts. So no matter who it is, Mississippi State, Ole Miss, Florida, everybody, you're playing a tough game. You started this week. You started with the Vanderbilt, Texas A&M game. You mentioned that game. You started with the Texas Tech game. When you're playing a conference game, things change.
So, I agree, but then the thing becomes, so if scheme isn't the core issue there, how do you improve? What do you do to avoid similar situations in these next few weeks?
Well, one thing you do, you get Stingley back. Hopefully you get Stingley back, and that helps solidify one of the cornerback positions. You play guys. I remember I looked at the field. We had the transfer from Nichols, who just got here a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
He was out there on the field in the middle of the game. And look, it goes to talent and goes to maturity and things like that. And going when you're on the field, where you're playing and you're not thinking, and you just have to play. And I think they're going to get it back together, and they're going to be well. And I think these young guys, they're going to grow during the year. You have another good test. You got Vanderbilt. It's not going to be easy. It's on the road. It's in their place. You have to play. You have to be tough. You're right, though. When you look at the team, we got, and Coach O said it very clearly, you got beat. Offensive line has to improve. Running backs picking up the blitz has to improve. Quarterback play has to improve. Defensive line, I look back at the defensive line in the fourth quarter. If we hold in coverage or we don't blow coverages on the back end, linebackers and DBs, the sack is coming.
Yeah.
The sack is there. I go back and I look at it. The play up front, we didn't play as bad as I thought we did when you go back and look at it on the film. And I'm like, hey, just hold your coverage, and the sack is there. And the quarterback made timely throws, and Leach's offense is a timing offense, a pick offense, is a short throw offense.
Yeah.
But we got to get back to what we do, especially on offense. What's our philosophy? What are we going to be? We're going to be, we're going to run the ball. We have good running backs. Run the ball, help the quarterback. He's been there 4 years. We got to help him though get his confidence back and get his confidence into playing in the game.
Talking to Verge Osbury, LSU executive deputy athletic director. So in terms of positives, you mentioned the defensive line. Ollie Gay was fantastic. He was a consistent force, batting balls down, sacks, forcing fumbles. Really should have drawn a couple holding penalties probably. What did you see out of number 11?
He's going to be a tremendous player. You're right. There's a lot of holding out there.
What is holding?
I hate being holding guy, but there were 3 that were across
had him
the
around
line.
his neck.
Yeah, they were across the line.
T-Bob, you're a pro. You know how to do that when you was offensive.
Exactly. And so I hate calling my fellow linemen out for it, but sometimes you got to call it. But whatever. It's not why you lost, but yeah.
Yeah, the bottom line, you can't put it on that. Look, in football, you can almost call holding on every play.
Yeah.
You know that. T-Bob, you know that too. And you got to beat it. You got to show it. You can't let those hands get on you. You got to disconnect where your hand extend and you can show the holding very clearly. And sometimes the ref catches you, and sometimes the ref doesn't catch you. And that's just part of the game. That's just playing the game. He had a great game for his first game with us. I was really impressed with him. how he got off the ball, snapping the ball. He was in the backfield. But you know, we played pretty good up front. We played decent up front. And like I said, if the coverage will stay there, and sometimes you just had a missed coverage. I mean, sometimes the guy running open in the flats wide open. You know, he went underneath, and underneath routes are hard. Yeah. Sometimes he missed jams. I mean, defensive guys got the jam. I tell my kids in high school, nobody should run across your face. It's not the NFL where it's a 5-yard rule. If a guy's coming across your face, you jam him. You put your hands on him. So what you do, you mess the timing up of the quarterback. And so you don't mess the timing up of the quarterback. It's just pitch and catch in the backyard, okay? I'm going to throw the ball, you're going to catch it. In fact, some of Costello's passes when I was watching the fourth quarter, the passes was behind the receivers. But bottom line, he was so open, then it's an easy catch. But you were playing chase. The defensive player is hard to play chase in any type of league, and that's what we would end up doing. We have to get out of hands. Young guys have to learn how to jam on a line of scrimmage and not lunge. I saw a lot of lunging from our DBs. You have to learn how to jam. And that's the experience part right there. In high school, you could get away with that. On this level, especially open up with SEC teams, you won't get away with it.
Verge, obviously there's privacy laws about what happened Friday night around Derek Stingley Jr., but can you take us to an associate, to an executive member of when something like that happens to a football team that's so close to game time, and then the effect that you saw that have on the team where, you know, ultimately you take the best player on the team on game day and tell the rest of the squad he's out?
Yeah, that's something that, look, those things happen, and it happened, and he's okay, but we worried about, more importantly, his health, and that's what we care for. And could he have played? Maybe, but that wasn't the right thing to do. We were trying to figure out the situation, what had happened, and tests and things of that nature. But he's going to be all right, and he's good. He had a reaction to something, but we feel comfortable with him coming back this week. But, you're right. You lost your best player. You lost your best defensive lineman, Logan. He was out for this game. So, you get those guys back in here, and that experience in the huddle. You talked about that leadership earlier. I heard you talk about that leadership. Yeah. Yeah, it's leadership just doesn't come. And leadership is not just talking and yelling and screaming. Yep. Leadership is a period of time. And when you lose those type of guys on your team, that makes a big difference. And I think one thing this is going to teach us in the future also, we got a lot of guys. When you look at Sundays, your team is playing on Sundays, most of them. And I always tell guys and tell coaches, you got the roster, you got to manage your roster, you got to re-recruit the guys, on your team that are currently here every year. You can't just say, okay, you're going to bring new guys coming in. That's good. You recruit great, you recruit a lot of great players, and you play here as a young guy. But, there's very few Derek Stingley. Sure. Okay, everybody say, okay, all these 5-star recruits, guys like Derek Stingley. No. Derek Stingley is special. Derek Stingley could play on Sundays his freshman year. He's that good. And just because you're a 5-star recruit, 4-star recruit, that doesn't mean that you're ready to take that next step on that next level. There's a lot of learning to go through. And then, as you know, T-Bob, this wasn't a normal year. We had COVID-19. Players wasn't here. They didn't get to work out in the spring as much as they could. So bottom line, you're playing catch-up. You're playing catch-up with a lot of young players.
Yeah, and that is my thing, is that, and this applies to Miles, this applies to young Segner, applies to the team as a whole. I just hope that people allow room for improvement, because the bottom line is, I don't care if Miles has been in the program for 4 years. This is his first start, in 4 years, right? Like you will only get better with game reps, with more time on task. It's why you feel so much better as a player in your 30th start than you do in your first. So, yeah, there's a lot of room for improvement.
Verge, did you get an actual attendance on Saturday?
I think we were around 21,000. I think the number I got, about 21,000.
Go ahead.
We knew that number would be somewhere in that area. We figured it would be that way. A day game, 2:30 game. We figured it would be that way. That's normal 2:30 games we have here.
We will hear from the head coach, Ed Orgeron, today at lunch. We always appreciate hearing from you on Monday mornings, Verge. We appreciate the time here.
Thank y'all.
Yes,
thanks, Verge.
There he is, Verge Osbury, checking in. Remember, Capital Partners bringing you that conversation with Verge every week here on OTB. We will carry on and give you weekend winners at 8 a.m.
Off the Bench with Kalata and T-Bob.
Daily here, we're brought to you on Off the Bench by Central Plumbing Company, online, centralplumbing.org, 925-8552. Remember, find them there online at centralplumbing.org. If you need residential or commercial plumbing services, you can find them. If you lost power in some of the storms that came through over the past couple of weeks and you don't want to lose power next time, remember they can help you out with a full-service generator this morning. 925-8552 or online centralplumbing.org.
925-8552, 925-8552, centralplumbing.org. Centralplumbing.org. Flat rate pricing, great warranty, licensed, bonded, insured, all of these things. Or make Central Plumbing so special, along with just the quality of work. 40 years they've been at it, so you can't hit them with a problem they don't know how to solve. I don't care if you got a new house, old house. I don't care if it's a drain that won't drain or like you got something bad, like water squirting out nowhere, toilet not working, whatever it is. Don't think twice. Pick up the phone, 925-8552. Get the computer, centralplumbing.org, and your plumbing issues will be solved. Central Plumbing.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Monday's AFR presented by Relief Windows. We'll hear from Ed Ogeron as he recaps LSU Mississippi State, and we'll talk Saints Packers. Join us Monday, 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, weekend winners coming up here in a couple of minutes on Off the Bench. We are about 25 away from 500 streaming on YouTube. We appreciate the interaction.
Share it.
Share and see if we can't get to 500 for the second hour. We got weekend winners. Dellinger bailed at 8:30. He's got travel problems this morning, so we'll see if we can't make that segment up at some point.
I'm okay with that because we haven't even talked about the offense yet.
Yeah.
So, we still have a lot to break down from this game. I can talk about this game for hours, and we still got all this NFL stuff to get to, so that's great. But, look, let's maybe end this hour with just a little positivity here, okay? Saturday sucked. And without a doubt, if you were still someone who had sky-high expectations, like going into when the Stingley Shelvin opt-outs happened or Chase Shelvin opt-outs happened, we bumped our ceiling, we said, down to 7-3, right? And now I think I've bumped it even maybe down further to I think your most realistic's maybe 6-4, your ceiling's maybe 7-3. But the point is, if you haven't made that expectation shift yet, go ahead and make it. It's all good. It's going to hurt. You're not going to like it. But it is what it is. You may just have to accept it for this season. The future still looks bright. But the thing is, you will see improvement in this year. And this is also one of those years, and we'll see how it develops. But where, look, it's almost in a way, it's almost more interesting to watch because you're seeing, okay, what pieces can you carry forward into the future? What, without a doubt, needs to be fixed? Do you need to make any in-season moves? And then just, like I said with Verger, let's all allow the opportunity for growth. I can't tell you the difference. I don't care. Okay, so I was in this program 3 years before I made my first start, right? Constantly learning the offense. I cannot tell you how much more comfortable you are by start 10, 15, 30 compared to that first start. Even though I was here 3 years, you're still a rookie, essentially. And you will get better with time. You will get better with game reps. It's just natural. It's just how it happens. So and that's offense, that's defense, that's everybody. I would say special teams, but actually, Zach Von Rosenberg was a bright spot, and Cade York, he never really had to make a pressure kick last year. I think he maybe made one against Texas that I would describe as pressure kick. He had to have that one at the end, and he nailed it. So special teams, they did their job.
Weekend winners coming up here in a couple of minutes. We'll talk more college football. In the second hour, we've got sound. We also got to get to the NFL. We also got to get to the NFL stuff from yesterday. As there is a lot to get there. The Saints last night fall short to the Green Bay Packers, and not if you care, the NBA Finals are set for Wednesday night as the Miami Heat are going to take on the Los Angeles Lakers.
Well, actually, I've been watching during the week.
You know what? This kind of grabs me.
Yeah, it's
LeBron,
the
Heat.
Fair.
I'm not saying that I'm going to watch every possession. But I will be peeking back and forth to see what happens here on a couple of early storylines. This was the one scenario that LeBron
off the bench
did not
with Collada and
That's
T-Bob.
exactly right. Hour 2 next.
I will say this. When it's head-to-head with football, I'm not watching a play.
That's right. But
during the week, yeah, hell yeah. Wednesday night, I'll have it on the TV.
Wednesday night, game
And then
one.
I'll probably check in around 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter, just fully dive in and commit to the finish.
Hour 2 next.
Off the bench with Collada and T-Bob.
Brought to you daily by Ochsner. Remember, the sports medicine program over at Ochsner has 3 locations, all state-of-the-art facilities. New Orleans, Baton Rouge, and Covington. Saw last night as Andrus Peat was knocked down. You see the medical professionals from Ochsner down there. You look around on Friday nights, Ochsner on the sidelines. The Pelicans, when they're in season, Ochsner behind the bench, training the staff, training the players. All online, Ochsner.org. Stop in, no matter the location, Baton Rouge, New Orleans, or the North Shore. They can help you out today. Doesn't matter if you're an elite athlete, a professional athlete, a weekend warrior, an ancient athlete, somewhere in between. They can get you back on the court game safely as possible.
Vincent said LSU looked like DBCC. Go to Ochsner.org today. Check out Ochsner Performance Training. You want to get bigger, stronger, faster. Look, if you're an ancient athlete, you're a high school athlete, they can maximize your athletic potential. And if you get hurt, you already know. Ochsner.org, they're the best. Ochsner.org.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
Do you know someone who sets a good example for all of us to follow? Someone who, without being asked, shows leadership, selflessness, and service to their community? We believe that's the definition of a good citizen, and so does Citizens Bank and Trust.
So, if you know someone that sounds like what Jordy was just describing, nominate them to be your good citizen, and they'll have a chance to win $500 from Citizens Bank and Trust. Plus, we'll mention him right here on the show. So go to citizensbankandtrust.com for more details and nominate your good citizen.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens, make not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her Auctioner primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an Auctioner care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioner Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
T-Bob Hebert here with breaking news. Front to Back Boat Services is the shop to upgrade your boat tech this fall. With not one but two NMEA certified techs, who better to install your Panoptic sonar, your HD displays. You want to see the fish under the water before you even cast? They have that. Trolling motors you could control with your iPhone? They have that. So what are you waiting for? Get into Front to Back Boat Services right now. Upgrade your boat tech. Make your boating dreams come true. Front to Back Boat Services.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Prompt, professional, reliable. If you're looking for a breath of fresh air with your AC and heating needs, call the professionals at Anison Bitter. Anison Bitter, a Rheem Pro partner, keeping your family comfortable for over 25 years.
Baton Rouge. This hour is brought to you by Smith.
Good morning. It's 8 a.m. on Monday, September 28th. For today in Baton Rouge, expect to see thunderstorms with a high of 85. In case you missed hour one of the show, you can catch that up at the on-demand section at 1045ESPN.com, brought to you by Carriages. Coming up in hour two, we give you our weekend winners next, and then Barstool Sports' Brandon Walker joins the show at 9:30. You can follow today's show on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN. Watch us live over at the 1045 ESPN YouTube channel. Get inside the Bayou Ford chat. Make sure you subscribe. The Off the Bench and Off the Bench Overtime YouTube channels. Set your notifications. New content is posted there daily. Hour number 2 of OTB starts right now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Hour 2 of and added off the bench. 1045 ESPN in Baton Rouge, 100.3 ESPN down in New Orleans, 94.7 over in Alexandria. Easy to find us online at 1045ESPN.com. Good to see all the interaction on YouTube. We're at 493 right now, so 496 and climbing. Love it, man. Appreciate the interaction. Love you being here on Monday mornings. Tell a friend, like and share it. Share the post, the YouTube post. Remember, everything's brought to you by All-Star Toyota. If you interact with us within YouTube, that's brought to you by Bayou Ford chat app.
I want to point out something that Gary talks about in the chat. He says, lost to why the only run play we could play was a redraw. We all know Miles was never going to keep the ball. It really looked like Les was calling the same run play over and over. I want to be clear about this because Daniel said on the broadcast, and it was after one time when they actually did run it, but the vast majority of the time, you think you're seeing zone read. but you're actually not. So zone read is predicated on reading the backside defensive end. You leave him unblocked, and the quarterback looks. If he commits to the running back, the quarterback pulls and takes it. If he commits to the quarterback, the quarterback hands it. They weren't leaving that guy unblocked. I saw Jeray Jenkins many times, whoever it was. They would bring in receivers. They would bring in backs. They were blocking that backside end. So it's not actually a zone read. It's just a zone. That's all that was. Now, if you want to be more creative in the run game, whatever, and explore more options, sure. But I just want to be clear. They're not actually running zone read there. So, yes, there is no threat that Myles Brennan's going to pull the ball.
And look, I'm not here to criticize college athletes, but you can't run zone read with Myles Brennan.
No, you cannot. Which is why they were right. Yeah, like exactly. They know that.
1 week after you put the film out there, it'll never be defended again because he's no threat. I mean, when he tried to get out of bounds before the end of the first half, where he deliberately put his head down and made a concerted effort to run out of bounds, and a Mississippi State defensive lineman caught him by the back of his legs and put him down. I mean, at that point, you realize, look, man, you got to keep this guy in a pocket. You got to get him to a spot. You got to keep that pocket clean.
Well, that's why I would like to. Yeah, and he needs to be more comfortable in a clean pocket because there were also the offense suffered from whose turn is it now disease Saturday where. I mean, look at the first half, especially, right? It'll be a drop on this possession. It'll be a free blitzer allowed despite the fact that you have the numbers on this possession. It'll be a bad decision by Myles on this possession. Like, it was just go down the list. It was somebody's turn to kill a drive.
All right, here are your weekend winners every week going off the bench.
That's how winning is done.
That's right. We can't have anyone freak out there, okay? We've got to keep our composure. We've got too far.
I'm by winning. I win here and I win there. Now what?
Are you doing what it takes to win a championship?
Wow, winning.
Well, then I guess there's only one thing left to do.
What's that?
Win the whole thing.
Let me start here. I'll go with the Mississippi State football fans, especially the ones here in Baton Rouge, which their captain is Rivers Huey, who I was most arrogantly speaking to via text.
Oh, yeah, a few weeks back
About
in the group
5 weeks
text.
ago, she made a one of their first trips as a family down to the beach. She was on the beach drinking a couple of toddies when the schedule was produced from the SEC.
Yeah.
She said she liked her chances. I said liked her chances for what?
It was, yeah. And Jordy Rivers always love
little needling.
kind of jabbing back and forth.
Needling back and forth. And I imagine she's feeling pretty confident on her victory lap.
Well, she's doing the condescending victory lap where there is no victory lap, right? She's hitting you with like the good game, guys. That was, that was fun, which is the worst and the most annoying kind of victory lap. But it's well earned, so tip of the cap. I mean, did we fly too close to the sun?
I was talking all that trash when we had Jamar Chase, Tyler Shelvin, and Derek Stingley.
there you go.
I would tell Kevin and Rivers, congratulations on beating the JV team Saturday afternoon.
There it is. You know what? It does feel, though, man. Remember how we spent all offseason saying live it up, talk trash to all your friends, make everybody feel terrible?
How much do you miss Joey now?
It definitely feels like... Well, it just feels like everybody's been waiting to pile on us, right?
Sure.
You had too much fun last year.
Oh, man.
It was too dominant. It was too badass. You knocked off too many of the Blue Bloods.
The amount of bookmarked tweets I had quoted at me on Saturday afternoon.
Really? Wow.
People had, kept the tweets from July when I was talking to just, arrogant, cocky trash, man.
Hey.
We'll be back.
Congrats to Mississippi State fans. I actually have to sing the Mississippi State fight song sometime this week. Because that pod where I made a bet.
Remember, though, images and pictures live forever, kids. T-Bob, we will see the picture of you in the Mississippi State hat and T-shirt with you in the golf cart forever.
I think people think that I'm upset by that. That was a super fun day.
I know. But I'm just saying that, kids, images will live forever.
Yeah. The only part I didn't like is when Kevin Mawai said he didn't like me anymore. But that's, that was... This one in its own right. I got to be honest. I don't have any weekend winners. It was a terrible weekend of sports. I've been deep in a film hole watching both the Saints game and the LSU game and watching all the NFL games. So, Musso, go, and I'll come up with somebody from NFL Sunday.
All right, Russell Wilson.
Damn it.
Let Russ cook. He did a lot of cooking. First
First Seahawks quarterback in history to have back-to-back 5-touchdown games.
Should have had
passing.
6.
Should have had 6. But I'd also
DK
like
Metcalf.
Hey, give a
No, I
shout
missed
out
it,
though
actually.
to him too, man,
Yeah.
because he ended up coming back and catching the
did.
game-winning touchdown.
Did. He made one of those plays yesterday where Russ hits him, throws him open, hits him, and he's running towards the end zone, puts the ball out. Defensive guy comes behind him, knocks it out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Danny, you got a weekend winner?
Damn, they still won.
Yeah,
Dude,
my
Seahawks are beast.
My weekend winner goes out to Hits turnover chain. They got the dunk turnover chain.
Oh, I did like
but
this turnover chain, dude. I'm a fan of him. I
thought
like
it was
turnover
sick,
chain. I like the front.
What about Ole Miss's turnover cash bag?
The money bag.
I mean, you want to talk about just flying a little close to the sun, T.
That is true.
Ole Miss, who's just coming out of investigation of 5 years,
The literal
hires
bag
Lane
man.
Kiffin. First move he makes on the first turnover of the season is a cash bag, labeled the turnover bag. Lane was asked about it after the game. He said, "Look, man, the kids name everything. It's up to them, whatever they want to do."
Look, secure the bag, right? It's what people are always talking about. That's what these kids are doing. They are securing the bag.
My second weekend winner of the weekend. How about Lil J? Lil Jordan Collada. More
Yeah.
FaceTime on Saturday than Derek Stingley Jr. in that game.
Jesse
he was
Palmer.
all over the place. Called out by Jordan Palmer.
Oh, it was Jordan Palmer.
No, it was
Jesse.
No, it was
Jesse.
Jesse
I thought you
Palmer.
tweeted
The
Jesse,
Bachelor.
yeah.
It was the Bachelor.
Yeah.
But on Terrace Marshall's one-handed touchdown, Marshall
I didn't
celebrates
even notice
with the crew.
that. That is him right there.
Celebrates with
Oh,
him. On Kylan Hill's 85-yard touchdown run. Hill's running at the end zone. He looks at Jordan Collada straight in the face. Jordan gives him a wave. Then Jesse Palmer calls him out on College Football Live. It was a hell of a weekend.
You want
for
to
Lil
talk
J.
about a frustrating play situationally? When you finally come back and tie the game and you've got this nice offensive rhythm and then Kylan Hill just goes one play, 75 yards, just completely
Never felt like
diminish all
LSU was
that.
in that game. It really did. It really didn't. It never felt like I mean, Mississippi State, every time you punched, they'd counter with, like a
It felt like you were on the
face shot.
opposite side
Yeah.
of the LSU Florida game from last year.
It felt like you were on the opposite side of any LSU game from last year, where you just knew our team's not going to stop their team no matter what we do.
Okay, I
of
got
Florida,
a weekend winner.
Florida weekend winner.
Yeah,
You see what Florida's offense did?
Yeah, I'm not going to get. Well, yes, they were great. Kyle Trask was great. Which, I feel vindicated in that. We put him in our S tier for quarterbacks. We said that's the reason why we think they'll beat Georgia.
I think the Heisman campaign took off on Saturday for
Yeah.
both
Very
Costello
much.
and Trask.
Yeah. Who we also ranked Costello very high in our ranking. So there you go. Okay, how about this? Steven Gostkowski. Okay, so he had a terrible game a couple weeks ago, right? He missed 4 kicks. He went 6 for 6 yesterday, including going from 54 and 55 to close it out. The 55-yarder was a game winner. Shout out Steven Gostkowski.
De'Aaron King in Miami. Anybody keeping up with this story? The Canes are 3-0
Brother,
right
good.
now. 2 weeks from now, they got Clemson. We'll
They
find
look
out.
good, dude.
That's when
We'll find out. But De'Aaron King,
But they don't
there
need to be
was
better
a
than-
lot of smoke around Joe Brady wanting De'Aaron King last year. You
Yeah,
see
there
why?
was.
De'Aaron King, through 3 weeks, through 3 games, has thrown for nearly 800 yards, 6 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 67% completion rate. He can run the ball, too. He's run for 200 yards and a score.
But even then, what's impressive is he's gotten better from that first game on. He was getting more and more comfortable. I don't think they have to beat Clemson. They have to beat Notre Dame. If you beat Notre Dame, I don't know if they play. I don't know if they
want
play.
to get where they want to go. You have to beat Clemson.
Yes, but I'm saying, but you can get another shot in the conference championship.
At
The
Clemson,
ACC
that's
this year is going to be first winning percentage, second winning percentage. Y'all are squaring off. I don't know if they have them on the regular season schedule.
But you can play them
Notre
in the
Dame.
championship.
But yeah, even if you lose Clemson, you can rematch them.
College football is a better sport when the Canes are relative.
That's
Relevant.
How about the Cardinals and the Marlins? Both of those two teams probably the most ravaged by COVID in Major
in
League
the
Baseball. Both of them made the playoffs.
Yeah.
Awesome perseverance.
Miami's a
through.
great sports town right now.
Bro.
Got the Heat,
except
got
for
the
the
Marlins,
Dolphins,
except
but
for the Dolphins,
yeah.
but they hadn't played Tua yet.
Shout out to the Cubs, too. No COVID cases throughout the whole season.
Okay, well, the Cubs suck.
Danny?
My other weekend winner goes out to Josh Allen. I'm
Oh,
fully
yeah,
on
dude, that
I'm
Josh
fully on
He's a
board.
beast.
First player in NFL history with at least 10 passing touchdowns and 2 rushing touchdowns.
I just saw
within the
a
first 3
tweet.
weeks.
He's an animal.
Peter Schrager, Josh Allen's last 14 games, 33 touchdowns, 3 interceptions.
Dude.
That'll play.
Bro, battle of the undefeateds on Sunday. And Josh Allen balled. He looks so confident out
did.
there. He's playing with swag. You kind of feel he's flicking it, dude. His release now, this is going somewhere. But it had the similar feeling to Aaron Rodgers, how Aaron Rodgers is feeling it right now, where he's hitting like fadeaways. He's just flicking that thing. Josh Allen is legitimately playing like a top 5 quarterback. I mean, they trust him to the point now where at a huge 4th and 1 from the goal line where you had to have it, they threw the ball. And he threw a touchdown. He rewarded you for it. This is what makes talent evaluation so weird. How did they ever know Josh Allen was going to be this good?
Remember Baker Mayfield laughed at that pick?
Well, dude, Josh Allen was terrible in college. He had bad stats. He was inaccurate. The one thing was he was just giant and had a
Big and
rocket
athletic.
arm, which normally I'm like, we always lambast that kind of decision making. But, I mean, hey.
Prettiest pass of the weekend. How about Aaron Rodgers last night rolling to his
that
left,
fadeaway.
dropping it to the bucket of Alan Lazard?
Yeah, that's the one that I'm thinking
Lazard's
of.
running north and south, looks straight up, and the ball just kind of falls into his gut as
Also,
Aaron Rodgers is rolling to his left.
You got to love the Rams losing because of a controversial pass interference call. Saints fans are weekend winners for that. They're also weekend winners for the Atlanta Falcons blowing another 15-point fourth quarter lead, which has never happened before.
That was on Arthur Blank's birthday too, by the way.
Also, boys, don't look now, but Tampa Bay is on top of the NFC South.
Yeah, and they look good yesterday. Denver's terrible, but they look good yesterday. Critics of Will Muschamp, which T-Bob is the president of that club.
Thank you.
Will Muschamp was down by 7 with 3 minutes left at home on Saturday night and kicked a field goal as South Carolina lost by 4 in that game. Isn't that a fireable offense on the spot?
Yes.
Like, what are you? 3:24. Look at that. 3:24 left. 4th and 12. He's
That's
got the
unbelievable.
ball at his own 38-yard line, and he lines up and kicks a field goal with 3 minutes left in that game and gets beat by 4.
I mean, do you want to win the game? Especially
I would ask a gambling question in the postgame. Like, Coach, did you have Tennessee plus the 4?
Now wait, to play devil's advocate, they did get a stop and were getting the ball back, and the punt returner muffed the punt, and it was recovered by Tennessee.
That's all well and good.
So, I mean, just to play devil's advocate.
Musso. Musso.
I was just playing devil's advocate.
Yes,
but
that's
they
fair.
were getting the ball back and have a chance to drive.
That's fair, but in the current kind of accepted football knowledge, I think to not be willing to go for the winning play
At
there.
South Carolina.
Hey,
yeah.
Who are we?
Exactly.
You're talking
Who
to the
are
guy,
we?
You're talking to the guy who is mad at Zach Taylor for kicking a field goal week 1 and not just going for the win with 7 seconds
We
left.
went through
So I
all the
get it.
scores and stats from the NFLSU guys on Sunday, but the weekend winner out of all of them has to be Justin Jefferson, as he had an enormous day. 7 catches, 175 yards, a 71-yard touchdown in which he danced his way, grittied his way into the end zone from 5 yards out.
And how LSU did that entire play look. Jefferson with the big catch and then managed to make 2 guys miss for the big play. I mean, it almost looked exactly like the crazy Georgia scramble where he caught at that portion of the field and then ripped the stiff arm off his head and cut it back to the middle. Shout out Jefferson.
All right.
Shout out Joey Burr, like we said. NFL record, 90. Brennan needs to be, here's a question going to break. Brennan needs to be 60% of Joe Burrow. Was that 60% on Saturday? I felt like it was. And what sucks is the reality of living through that 60%. For all of our talk of we're not going to be unrealistic because of what Burrow's done, for all that talk, I feel like all that got thrown out the window when you actually had to live it.
Will Muschamp shut down the stream. Danny's working to get it back up and operating. We'll be back off the bench, rolling on by All-Star Toyota.
Off the Bench with Jordy Culotta and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Brought to you by the Lanoix, Lanoix agency.com. Got in touch with Randy over the weekend. We're going to start doing the field trips once a month. Waiting on next month's assignment as Randy's going to find us a hole in the wall from around the state in South Louisiana. We'll all meet up for an 11 o'clock lunch at agency.com. Remember, if it's auto, flood insurance, car insurance, get in touch with them. Lanoix agency.com.
Man, we out here pushing 600 and then this happens. LanoixAgency.com, LanoixAgency.com for all of your I bundle my home, my auto, my flood insurance as well. But the best part is they customize policy for your specific needs. And then they're always actively trying to save you money without you lifting a finger. They'll just call you one and be like, hey, we found a way to save you a couple $100. Hell yeah, I'm into it. You don't have that. Get that. Go to landwatchagency.com today.
We opened up the playbook and expanded our coup. We are 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens. Make that thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information.
The nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer, based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and 756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast office products.
This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup.
It's a Monday edition, Mints. The guys recap all their picks from over the weekend, including LSU, Mississippi State, and Saints versus Packers. We're live from Ivar's Bar and Grill from 6 to 8 p.m. on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, we got sound to get to from the weekend. Ed Ogeron, Miles Brennan speaking Jacoby Stevens after LSU's opening day loss. They'll be on the road this weekend versus Vanderbilt. 6:30 kickoff on the SEC Network. We'll have all the coverage for you. Crank it up at 1:30 on Saturday afternoon on Eagle 98.1. Appreciate all the interaction Saturday night on Whiskey and Wine. That was fun over at Don Juan Cigar Bar. Shout out to Jim Ferguson and the crew over at Citizens Bank and Trust. We've got a ice chest to give away from Citizens that we'll do somewhere here on Off the Bench throughout the week, as our friends over at Citizens hooked us up as Whiskey and Wine will originate from Don Juan Cigar Bar throughout the rest of the season. So at some point, we will hope to be inviting your interaction with us.
Shout out to everybody who hung out with me for 8.5 hours in studio on Saturday. That was fun. Do it again next week. It was a lot of fun.
You doing this every Saturday?
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
So run the marathon?
Oh, yeah. Baby. It's football season. We locked in, baby. And now we actually have stuff to, like, like I said, last year watching film was just like a celebration. Now we actually have things to break down and areas to identify as to where you can improve. Do we want to dive into the offense of Miles Brennan now?
Let's
Feels kind of like a natural continuation.
Begin the discussion of Brennan. And, on the day, Brennan, for his numbers, when you look at his stats, and I think T-Bob brings up a really good point when you talk about where LSU was as far as quarterback play was concerned before last season, right? Because last season was the gold standard not only for the program and the university, but for college football. I mean, think about how many times you heard Burrow's name on Saturday. We were sitting in here Saturday morning watching the bank of TVs for the 11 a.m. kickoffs, every TV with a different game going, and at least every broadcast referenced Burrow in the first half on what he accomplished last year, on where he is this year. Then Brennan shows up to fill the impossible shoes, right, and goes 27 of 46, 345 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
One of which is a Hail Mary.
One's at the end of the game.
So I in my mind, I view it as a 3-and-1.
And one is elbows hit.
Now I will, the elbow hit one, I think we keep on him. It is kind of depressing because if you look at the game at that point, that would have been a touchdown. That would have been his 3rd scoring drive in a row. I think he was like 8 of his last 10 with a couple touchdowns, like right with the past 2 drives. So he was, that 3rd quarter, they started to hit a nice little zone. They got a nice little rhythm, and then his elbow gets hit on that play, and the pick happens. The reason why we keep it on, though, is because his decision-making could have been a half a click faster there, and if it had been, then it would have been a touchdown. But yeah, I view it as a 3-touchdown, 1-interception game.
Yeah, and Racey McMath on that play is running by himself, as T says. I mean, if he throws a clean ball,
and Brennan
there,
saw it. It was just, like everything else, it just has to speed up a bit. But I mean, I can't help but question what has happened to our quarterback expectations in the matter of a couple of years. 2 years ago, you saw Joe Burrow go 11 of 24 for 140 in his first start in 4 years, and we all felt like it was really good. Because we were like, we saw some things because you were coming from the wasteland. Well, then you got to the promised land, and now you see 346 and 3 scores, and you feel like it was a garbage performance. Now you see 346 and 3 scores, and a lot of the fan base is blaming the quarterback as the main reason why you lost the game on a day where you were literally, and I know I overused that, but in this case it's accurate, you were literally record-breakingly bad on the defensive side of the ball.
I do not put the loss on the quarterback play on Saturday. I solely think that falls at the feet of the new defensive coordinator, who did not make any adjustments within that game to recognize that if they did not get out of man-to-man, they were going to lose. Yeah. Because they couldn't stop them.
Yeah, so, and they may have lost anyway. Like they could have DM up it. They may have lost.
But I would have loved to see the scenario.
It's the FDR quote. Just try something. Like, I don't care if it fails too. Just try something new.
So I agree with you there.
Let's get into how
I'm going to give you a piece of feedback that you're going to hate.
Yeah.
That you don't like.
Yeah.
My eyeballs told me that he doesn't play the position that well on Saturday. The numbers look good.
Mm-hmm.
He made some throws that I thought were really good. But even like an open play to Jeriah Jenkins where he's running down the middle of the field and he makes the catch, to me, that ball hung up in the air for a long, long time.
Yeah.
You know
it wasn't perfect. I mean, he could have thrown it to open. If he'd thrown it a little more left there, it's a moonshot.
There was a click and a half or 2 clicks that I thought he was behind consistently on Saturday.
Beginning of the game was really rough.
I thought there were a couple of camera shots of him that caught him where his eyes were wide, where he almost had this deer in headlight look where it was moving a little fast for him out there, and that is to be expected. Whether you've been in college for 4 or 5 years, but the first time you step onto the field, you see a first-team defense running at you in live action, it's going to be quick. I get that. I understand that. I truly wonder, after watching them play for 4 quarters, T, and that's all we have is 4 quarters to evaluate, if they're really that good.
How could we not? Yes, we have to address that. I don't know, right? That's why I said 6-4 feels realistic now. After the opt-outs, we bumped it down to 7-3. Now I think we should bump it down again to 6-4. I mean, if you go 7-3 now, that means that you will have won 2 out of the 4 with Auburn, A&M, Alabama, and Florida, which it was a mixed bag. I mean, A&M didn't look any good, but Auburn, whatever. We'll cross that road when we get there. So Brandon Hollingsworth said the loss isn't on Brennan. It's obviously on the defense. It doesn't mean that you couldn't come away from the game thinking that Brennan just doesn't have it. Okay, while I agree with that, and this would go to the eyeball test because I think you're right. I mean, Miles wasn't seeing it, especially in the first half. Here, let me just go down my list here. I said that he got happy feet a few times where the O-line had it handled. He had a nice pocket, and he ran out into pressure. Interior protection outside of some bad MAs by Chase and Hines was actually pretty damn solid. I would like him to be more decisive with his checkdowns. Yeah. Remember, now I need to go back and chart protections, and I'm going to do that today because it felt like LSU is holding more people in protection again. I want to see them continue to beat pass rush with decisions and with giving the quarterback options, but that's on the quarterback take advantage. And there are a few times where instead of getting pressured or sacked, a quick little dump off would have been warranted. So yes, like all the points y'all are making are true, but here's what I would ask: what's the alternative?
Oh no, I don't have one.
What do we want to do?
Well, I think
where do you go with the season?
LSU understands that too. But what I would say that is more concerning about what you and I are talking about right now is it looks like they are now back in the mode of trying to find an identity of who they are offensively, right? Because you want to be this zone read team that was so effective last year, but yet you don't have the personnel to do that. Yeah. You don't have the personnel to run that offense to set up where your quarterback's any type of threat to run. And we've heard all offseason that it's the same offense. It's going to be the same approach. It's going to be the same attack. Well, it can't be.
Yeah, it can't. Right? You can't rely on you need more success on the ground, and you got to be more creative on the ground. I agree with you there. Just the zone, like we said, we were hoping to see more of like maybe some Dan Mullen like spread power running type of.
And out of the running backs, John Emery's the playmaker. He's the one. He's the guy that you got to get the ball. I understand that those two guys in Curry and Ty Davis Price can move the line of scrimmage. They can get you tough yards. But if it's about putting people in space and creating playmakers and letting playmakers make plays, Emery's the one. He's the guy that can hit the home run from any spot. And we knew that. But when it looks like the competition, when you see those guys all three playing, in one game, 4 stands out to me. He gives you the best chance at making a play from that running back spot because I'm with you. Their identity has to change in the sense offensively that the run's going to have to set up the pass.
And look, you're telling me that you're not missing Jamar Chase, dude. I mean, bro. I tried to say that it was going to be impactful, and I got shut down.
Where?
Everybody's saying, when I was talking about the D-Hop thing, and everybody's like, well, LSU still has Terrace Marshall, and they have all these other guys. And I'm like, okay, that's fine, but just look around the league. And we'll get to the Saints and Mike Thomas. But not having an elite wide receiver when you want to play these wide-open offenses, the impact is so far-reaching. It's so much more far-reaching than just losing one player. Because it takes away from Terrace Marshall. It takes away from, and that's another thing. If we're talking about offense, there were critical drops. I said early on that it was the first half was kind of whose turn is it to screw up now. I charted every drive. You had some really nice starts. The first 2 drives, you had more first downs than Mississippi State did on the day. It's the weirdest box score I've ever seen in my life. I mean, you win the turnover battle, you get a lot of sacks, and you get a pick 6, and you lose the game. You get more first downs, you run more plays. Finish even on time of possession. But it was because they just couldn't do it consistently, right? The first 2 drives, they come out, they get a couple nice first downs. And then on a critical down, there's a drop by Terrace Marshall, right? Or a drop by Arik Gilbert. And then the next play, Miles screws up and gets uncomfortable, or he doesn't see it. And so when you have a quarterback that is already, needs more help than the one that obviously you had last year, then those mistakes become compounded. Like those mistakes you could drop a ball last year, even though you never did, but you could, or you could get a holding penalty and it didn't matter, right? That was the most amazing part because you could constantly overcome. You're not going to be able to do that this season. So you have to play more mistake-free football. And unfortunately, you didn't see it. And it was every level of that offense. My deal with Miles, it's not that he played great and not that he's Joe Burrow. And when I make the Miami comparison with Burrow to the Miles and this game comparison, it's not to say that he will go on to be better than Joe Burrow or criticize Burrow for that Miami game. That's simply to point out that the reason why you lost and 1-1 was the defense. But when I look at this performance by Miles, I see good building blocks. Like, it's not the scorched earth wasteland that a lot of people would have you believe. I mean, do you remember did Danny Etling ever have a game like this? Did Danny Etling ever hit a deep ball?
No, but you know what felt like Etling-ish was that the offense, if you go back to the first 3rd down, I'm telling you, this was the most concerning thing that I saw all day from the offense. And T-Bob has referenced he's gone back and watched the film too, and that there's more of these. But on the first third down of the day, Brennan is rolling to his sideline. There's a back end zone view of the cut, and Terrace Marshall and Arik Gilbert run into each other.
Yeah.
And then you've got a wide receiver 5 yards behind him. I'm talking about it looks like it's unorganized. Guys don't know where they're supposed to be. And anytime you look at a all 22 or a copy where you can see the entire field,
I wish I could get that.
3 offensive players are standing in the same spot. I mean, like, what's going on? That feels.
It was sloppy. The whole thing was sloppy.
Yeah,
how on 3rd and goal, which first off, I really did not like the back-to-back the zone runs on 1st and 2nd and goal, but that's fine. But how then on 3rd and goal do you allow a free rusher through the A gap? And it wasn't even like they overloaded you, but even if they had overloaded you, there are we're late. My bad, Musso. There are a few core rules when it comes to pass protection, and one of them is you cannot allow a free rusher through the A gap. That has to work inside out. So yeah, it was sloppy. It was sloppy on a lot of fronts. And while the offense played good enough to win a game in a vacuum, they did not play good enough to win that game, to win a game where your defense just doesn't have it. They did not play good enough to win that shootout. But there's building blocks there. They can improve. There's a lot of positives. Terrace Marshall's still a beast, even with the drops. I mean, he is still an absolute beast. I love seeing Jere Jenkins. You mentioned John Emery. I thought Liam Shannon actually played well. I don't know who the protection calls are on, if that's more just the player like chasing, like screwing up or what, but there's some good elements here.
Todd Jones inside the Bayou Ford chat app. Fireman Airy. OTB rolling on.
Off the bench with Kalata and T-Bob.
Brought to you daily by All-Star Toyota. Remember All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge. You can find them there online or on the corner of Goodwood and Airline. Remember, brand new selections of cars over there, vehicles to choose from. Over 90 pre-owned and certified automobiles to choose from All-Star Toyota. Stop in and see Aaron Piku and the great sales team, All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com.
All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com, All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com. We can get into the play calling. It wasn't the play calling, y'all. It was the execution, in my opinion. You want 0% APR finance for 72 months on a new 2020 Tundra? They got your back. How about 1.9% APR finance for 60 months on a new 2020 Highlander? Take advantage of the deals right now at All-Star Toyota. 0% APR finance for 72 months on a new Camry. What are you waiting for? Also, Toyota certified used vehicles. You get a used vehicle with a warranty and things that you don't normally get, and it's going to last. Go to allstartoyotabatonrouge.com today.
Tune in Thursday night as we kick off Week 4 when the New York Jets host the Denver Broncos. The NFL lives on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
When it's clearance time, smart customers rush to Richards Honda because all your favorite Honda models are at fantastic prices. And with our fanatical customer care, it's no wonder people call Richards Honda the smart choice.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
If I built a van, It would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens. Make that thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
Your Honda needs some TLC, and Richards Honda is the smart place to get it. With oil changes at just $39. And with so many service bays, you'll be in and out super fast. Schedule your appointment today at richardshonda.com.
Yo, join us for an expanded Hanging with Hester and Hanny presented by Richards Honda on Monday. We'll get things kicked off at 10 o'clock live from Sammy's Grill in Baton Rouge and go all the way until 3. Join us on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, a couple of shout-outs we missed inside of weekend winners. Musso, this one's on you. DJ LeMahieu scoops up the hitting the batting title
baseball
yesterday
guy
for Yankees. The first player, is that right?
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
right,
why
man.
he didn't want to give the Yankees credit.
Not true.
dude.
Go look at my Twitter. I
Classic.
shouted him out last night on Twitter. Get out of my
Player
face.
in Major League Baseball history to win the batting title in both leagues. I mean, that is amazing.
Wow.
I guess it's because
It's never happened?
it's never happened, and I had somebody explain it to me yesterday because we were speaking about it. Is because you never see superstars traded.
Right.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Well, I wouldn't say never. I mean, Mookie Betts, but, I digress.
Before now.
Not bitter about it anymore.
Before now.
Yeah, I mean, generally, if you have a batting champion, you try to keep him there. Then again, I mean,
Right,
the Marlins
yeah.
let everybody go.
Same with
but-
an MVP, right? I mean,
Also, I guess it's just really hard to lead any league in batting average.
No,
it's hard to do it twice.
You know who else we left out of weekend winners was Dr. Reef. Dr.
Yeah.
Reef got a lot of love last
of
night
FaceTime.
on the Sunday night NBC telecast with Mike Tirico.
Dude, that run by
and
Kamara.
Chris Collinsworth. He's just
I got
gliding.
goosebumps right now just
Is he
thinking
the best
about
back
it.
in the league right now?
Hell yeah, Collinsworth said it. Dude, God, Collinsworth's good on the call.
Mm-hmm.
He was really good last night, I thought. But, yeah, okay, so I want to throw in a weekend winner on top of that. Then look at Eric McCoy. Look at 78. I want the other view, the side view that they showed where you really get an idea of how fast McCoy is moving. Also, though, what great patient running by Kamara. Because look at him slow down. Yes, look at McCoy, though, dude. I mean, getting it. But
What a scary scenario for a DB.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, dude, that's like
This cat is running downhill at me.
and he just barrels forward. But good on Kamara for he felt McCoy. He slows up. He lets McCoy leads away, and then he picked through it. I mean, what can you say? Drew Brees arm strength issues. How does a 52-yard touchdown pass sound? You bums.
Yards per the air attempt stat went down last night.
Yeah.
From 4.7 to 4.3.
But let's also be clear. I mean, I think, look, yes, Brees' arm's a problem. They have no deep threat. Without Mike Thomas, it's a huge problem. Like, not having Mike Thomas, this offense doesn't work. It's almost that simple.
Well, I think you said it right. I mean, they have, whether it was deliberately or just kind of organically, it has turned into this where he is now the centerpiece of what it's built around.
They built it in his image.
His skill set is what it's really, I mean, the slant routes, the out routes, the timing routes where he can just box you out.
The physical stuff.
He can just box out the defender. I mean, he plays basketball and boxes him out. One more shout out from the weekend we didn't mention. Our girl Whitney Bro went through her 5th surgery for breast cancer, and hopefully this is the one that is on the way to recovery. But you want to talk about a guiding light and a sense of motivation. If anybody has followed Whitney and her fight on social media, it has all been positive coming from her. And you know that all the days have not been glorious as she has gone through nearly 7 months of cancer treatment here in 2020. And I saw that she was in the YouTube app this morning chatting with us after her latest surgery. And yeah, look, it has been incredible to watch her go through this and her bring you into this from a social media standpoint. You know the hashtag Whit Fights Like a Tiger, and has gone through her last surgery. Hopefully, her last surgery over the weekend. But you know that the Off the Bench crew, the 104.5 ESPN team, is with Whitney Breaux and her family and always will be. So keep fighting, Whit.
So earlier you said like maybe LSU's not that good, right? And so Laura Giat in the YouTube chat, Bayou Ford YouTube chat, says it's unfortunate because short of another domination, would we have been satisfied? We're coming off a high. We were eager to believe the hype, but in reality, we lost a ton. Didn't reload to the same caliber. So it's Tell the Truth Monday, okay? So let's just all accept the truth that we were off base. Mm-hmm. Now, granted, it's an evolving story, right? Because losing Chase late in the game, suddenly all of your, and Shelvin, suddenly all of your summer takes take a massive hit because that's losing your top 2 NFL prospects. And then you lose Derek Stingley right before, who I didn't put in the NFL prospect list because he has another year, but your best player left in your team. So, it evolved as the game got closer, but what you saw on Saturday is that you're not – I don't know if anybody could have, right? I mean, I don't know. Even Alabama and their ability to reload, they've never dealt with returning by kickoff. I think it was 3 starters from a national championship team. It's nearly unprecedented. And you desperately hoped you could overcome that. And you are nice in some areas. But unfortunately, man, I mean, the truth is we have to accept that it's just too much to replace.
Who is it? Deculus, Stevens, and Stingley? Stingley's ruled out right before kickoff.
I want to say there's
Deculus, Stevens.
I feel like
Terrace
we're
Marshall.
Missing.
Terrace Marshall considered a starter.
Yes. So that's why it was 3. Yeah, because it was 4. I think you were down to 5 after the opt-outs, and then and then Glenn Logan didn't play. So yeah, man, it was just too much to overcome. Like purely and simply. And this is not to say the future for LSU. It still looks really bright in my opinion. I mean, recruiting is still excellent. You're going to reload eventually. It's just it was too much it feels like it's too much now. We got to finally be honest with ourselves and tell the truth Monday that it's just too much to overcome in 1 year. You're going to be great. You will be great again next year. I firmly believe that, but it might just be too much for this year. So that's why this year now we have to adjust our expectations. And like I said, you dive in, you watch, you see what pieces you like, and you can carry forward. And you see what pieces you maybe need to work on. And you need to explore some things.
I will say
this.
It's
a fact-finding mission
I
now.
will say this. LSU got a first-hand seat and a first-hand view of it on Saturday, but there are no off weeks in the SEC West anymore. If you looked at what was happening in Oxford on Saturday with Lane Kiffin, I mean, yes, his personnel and his talent is not there, but he is creative, and he has got an offense that can score from anywhere on the field. Matt Corral can sling it. He's got talent around him. He doesn't have the numbers, but he is innovative, he's creative, and he's going to put up points. So you're going to have to defend for 4 quarters. I mean, I would say outside of LSU, the worst performance I saw on Saturday from the West was Texas A&M. Even Arkansas, to a degree, surprised me at their offensive talent.
They were close for a while,
They
dude.
still got beat by Georgia's fourth-string quarterback.
Yeah, but Georgia's fourth-string
talent
quarterback
they
was
have
better
on
than
offense surprised me. They have playmakers. I didn't think that they had a playmaker in sight. And they got a couple of wide receivers that you're going to have to guard them.
I'm still not adjusting my guaranteed wins, right? Like I said, I saw 6 wins on this schedule. Mississippi State was one of them, and they lost that. I'm still not adjusting that. I still think you beat Mizzou. I think you beat Vandy. I think you beat Arkansas. I think you beat Ole Miss. What I feel less good about now are the 4 question mark games. It is the A&M, Auburn, Florida, Alabama slate. I felt like you were probably going to 2-2 that before. On this Monday, it feels like a 1-3. But we'll have to let that play out.
Anybody see Auburn wide receiver Seth Williams?
He looked great.
Kelvin Joseph on that touchdown.
Oh, was that Kelvin Joseph?
I mean,
didn't
Kelvin
realize
Joseph,
that.
number 1 for Kentucky, who was a 5-star cornerback who people believe was going to be a pro, probably will be a pro. Joseph went over James went over the top of him and just picked the ball off of his head. We'll close it hour 2 next.
Off the bench with Kalata and T-Bob.
Daily here, we're brought to you by Donaldsonville Glass and Body, online dgbauto.com. Remember, Donaldsonville Glass and Body, if you've been in an accident, collision over the weekend, Donaldsonville Glass and Body can get you back on the road operating today. Remember, 24-hour towing, so if you're in an accident, they can move the vehicle from the site to the shop, make the repair, and then drop it back off to you. Online, all of the services, dgbauto.com.
dgbauto.com, donaldsonvilleglassandbody.com. Go there for all of your car needs. Tires, wheels, brakes, glass. It doesn't matter. You need an inspection sticker, an oil change, or you get in an accident, then you need to go to Donaldsonville Glass and Body because the collision repair is second to none. Best body shop in the state. I put that on everything. If you get in an accident too, remember, they will pick you up. Nick Frederick will show up in that brand new 2019 tow truck, pick you up, fix your vehicle, and then drop it back off in your driveway. If it's not convenient, I don't know what is. Go to donaldsonvilleglassandbody.com, donaldsonvilleglassandbody.com.
Saints coverage, Chiefs, Cowboys, Thursday night, Sunday night, and Monday Night Football. From the opening kickoff to the playoffs and the Super Bowl, the NFL lives on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
T-Bob Hebert here with breaking news. Front to Back Boat Services is the shop to upgrade your boat tech this fall. With not one but 2 NMEA certified techs, who better to install your Panoptic sonar, your HD displays. You want to see the fish under the water before you even cast? They have that. Trolling motor you could control with your iPhone? They have that. So what are you waiting for? Get into Front to Back Boat Services right now. Upgrade your boat tech. Make your boating dreams come true. Front to Back Boat Services.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Monday's AFR presented by Relief Windows. We'll hear from Ed Ogeron as he recaps LSU Mississippi State, and we'll talk Saints Packers. Join us Monday, 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, closing out hour 2 with you here as lots of reaction. Saints, LSU, rough football weekend for South Louisiana.
Look, man, you know who's in the struggle bus right now? What does Spider-Man say? With great power comes great expectations. Well, with great money comes great expectations. And you're seeing in the chat right now, Phantom here says Pelini getting paid $2.3 million to put out a record-setting defense. Wrong record. Yeah, look, that is the thing, man. Fair or not, one game sample or not, the takes are going to be hot because the money is large. It's the same thing that Taysom Hill's dealing with today, right? I mean, Taysom Hill gets paid. All of a sudden, it's not all so cute. It's not all as much fun. Now you have expectation. Now you want Taysom Hill to work out every time he's on the field. And that's just not happening. I mean, what it sucked about yesterday is he went from being non-impactful to impactful just in the absolute wrong way. But yeah, man, so both Pelini and Taysom today dealing with that classic money to expectation burden. And
Andrews Pete dealing with it to an extent as well.
Yeah. I feel for Pete getting rolled up, man. I don't know. That's scary. That's high ankle. A lot of times that's broken fibula.
Like Thomas.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see exactly where that ends up going. But yes, Pete's been dealing with that too. I mean, right? And if you didn't, if people were frustrated with Pete before, now that he got the big contract, like it's only going to get more and more extreme. We're going to talk a ton of Saints in NFL in hour 3, as we haven't really gotten to touch on it too much today. So stick around. I still got to apologize to Aaron Rodgers as well.
This could be bad radio. Who was the offensive lineman that came in? Kelly, well, New Orleans, because I saw that Eason came in.
I saw Eason Ruiz and McCoy. I don't remember seeing a Kelly. I'm not sure.
All right, stick around hour 3. Dellinger's texted and said he's freed up if you'd like to talk to him at some point in the 9 o'clock hour.
We got so much going on. Let's just save it for another day. I'll take him at 9:30 tomorrow.
We'll move it and talk college football with Dellinger at some point this week. But remember, coming up, LSU back at it with Vanderbilt. They'll be in Nashville. No fans in Nashville for this Saturday's game.
So normal?
So there'll be a normal kickoff for the Doors as Vanderbilt will host LSU on the SEC Network Saturday at 6:30. And then New Orleans will be in Detroit to see if they can't remedy these 2 straight losses. First time since 2017, even though the Lions roll into Arizona yesterday and upset Kyler Murray and the Cardinals.
Yeah, think about that for a second, old school Saints fans. Did you ever think you would reach the point where you would go nearly 2 calendar years? No, you did go like 2 calendar years without ever losing back-to-back games. Like, I know it hurts today, but if you watch this team for super long, I think you could probably appreciate how far you've come from what it used to be. It's just a little glass half full as we head into hour 3, where we're going to break down a lot more bad football.
All right, Gordy Rush has called the 9 a.m. meeting for the entire company. We're back on this morning.
Whoa.
First time in months. I'm up to the 4th floor. T-Bob's back with you for hour 3.
Sorry, can't make
it, dude.
Off
the bench with Collada and T-Bob.
Send your best. Secure Shredding and Recycling. Remember online, secureshreddingandrecycling.com. You know their location over here on Mammoth Avenue. They've got a Lake Charles in West Baton Rouge, in West Louisiana as well. They're online at secureshreddingandrecycling.com. Doesn't matter where you are. If you're in the listening area, Alexandria, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, Lake Charles, New Orleans, Secure Shredding and Recycling can take care of you. They got 10 trucks on the road daily. They offer mobile shredding, drop-off shredding, online. You can find them secureshreddingandrecycling.com.
Here we go. Chase Joubert, he says cold front coming in, and we got Vandy. Great weekend coming up. Damn right, dude. Let's go. And if you need to go get some document destruction, you need to go to Secure Shredding and Recycling. The LSU grads, the local guys who not only help protect the environment, but help protect your information. Digital, actual paper, it doesn't matter. They have drop-off points they can destroy on site with their trucks. They can bring back their facilities. Go to secureshreddingandrecycling.com.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens. Make that thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as a bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
This hour is brought to you by Spencer Callahan.
Good morning. It's 9 a.m. on Monday, September 28th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect to see thunderstorms with a high of 85. Coming up on OTBOT, we recap the Saints' loss to the Packers, and Barstool Sports' Brandon Walker joins the show to talk Mississippi State, LSU. He's not. Don't talk doggy style as T-Bob is yelling into his mic that's not on. Anyway, follow today's show on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN. And subscribe to the Off the Bench and Off Bench Overtime YouTube channel. Set your notifications. Watch us live right now on the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. OTBOT starting right now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
What's up, y'all? Welcome in OTBOT. The Hawaiian shirt on. Looking for a little good vibes on this morning after a rough weekend of football. Football can be a cruel muse at times, right? The highest of highs, the lowest of lows. Hell, there were some incredible moments on Saturday, right? When Elias Ricks got the pick, I was going crazy. When Terrace Marshall caught the one-handed deep ball, I was going crazy. But there's also some very low lows. I will say this, though. I want to trade it for the world. I know it sucked. I want to trade it for the world. How about, do y'all feel like this? And we're going to get to the Saints, but with this LSU loss, it also made me realize how much having that championship has done for me mentally. because I feel like this loss would have hurt so much worse if it was last year. If you were still trying to overcome the Alabama hump, if you didn't have that natty in your back pocket, like it definitely lessened the sting of the entire affair.
No, that's fair. I just think that it also showed, though, that the next hump they have to get over is getting into the benefit of the doubt club or the reload.
Yeah, and they'll get there.
And
like if you look at the 2021 class and 2022 class, they're trending that direction.
They are.
Also, normally you're not going to go to 3 returning starters. As we said, the lowest in the playoff era previous to this was 10 returning starters. The next lowest I can think of, if you go back to the BCS era, was the after Cam Newton Auburn team, which I think was 7 or 8, and we all know what happened there. They ended up going 8-5 that year. And we tried to hand wave all that away, and we can't.
But
we have to accept it. Tell the truth.
I think that definitely makes it feel better knowing that that's the next hump you have to get over.
Yes, yeah. Like you've proven that you can win championships again.
Now
you beat
Alabama.
Alabama.
Have to get over the hump of
Now you just got to try to do it year in and year out. So. Like I said, I want to trade. It is what it is. Rough. It's really been a rough pandemic for Louisiana sports. The Pelicans had all this hype. They fall completely flat on their face in the bubble. LSU's defending national champions. They fall completely flat on their face in the first game. The Saints are constantly bandied about as the best team in the league, maybe the best roster in the NFL. The defense is supposed to be so good. They've completely fallen flat on their face. How about these tweets from Jeff Duncan? If you want to talk about the Saints defense, this was so frustrating, is that Saturday and Sunday look so similar in some ways. Including the last 7 drives of the Raiders game, the Saints defense has forced just 1 punt in the last 17 series. 1 punt in 17 series. I want to say you average around 10 series a game, maybe something like that. So that's nearly 2 full games of forcing 1 punt. Within those 17 series, you've had 8 touchdowns, 5 field goals, 1 turnover and downs, 1.5, 1 fumble, and 1 punt. So it's been terrible for the Saints defense here recently. And it's kind of inexplicable. Like, I don't know exactly what's going on. I don't know what the issue is. Where's Cam Jordan been? Cam Jordan's been completely quiet this season. I mean,
3 games.
Trey Hendrickson's got through there. And it's not like, it's tough to explain. I haven't rewatched the Saints game yet. I've only rewatched LSU, so maybe I can get a little more insight. But this defense, for all of the hype, has just fallen woefully short. And it's a Saints team that they're just making too many mistakes, and it's at every level, right? And just look at the penalties. I mean, Tirico was hammering it last night. Or excuse me, it's not Tirico. Whatever. Is it Tirico that does call with Collins?
He did last night. Al Michaels
he did last night.
Al Michaels was out.
Okay, that's okay. I just confused myself because it definitely was. Okay, exactly.
There was some random guy on the pregame too for Football Night in America. I was like, who's this? I was like, who's this dude?
And I feel bad, but he
wasn't great.
He was not very
great.
Good. He's sitting there talking about how Seattle needs to run the ball more.
Yeah.
Huh?
Has he not heard?
Like,
let Russ cook.
Like, hasn't it been the entire narrative all season long? I was shocked by that when I heard that. I was like, ooh, boy, okay, whatever, dude. But as Trico was saying last night, the odometer on the Saints penalty yards just keeps on spinning. It's crazy. It's just a team that just looks sloppy. And let's be painfully clear about this. What's been a weekly theme here on Off the Bench on these NFL Mondays? The value of an elite wide receiver continues to rear its head. And especially in this Saints offense, not having Mike Thomas is killing them. Because Drew Brees' arm strength is a problem. Look at how you can threaten guys vertically. Look at how Rodgers could threaten you vertically and what that ended up doing. But Mike Thomas, not only the best receiver in the NFL, but one of the best ever in terms of that short to intermediate stuff, which obviously that's where Brees needs to thrive right now. So Thomas's impact becomes that much more important because he is the best at exactly what, not just what you want to do, but what you have to do because of what Brees' arm can do now. It's what you have to do, and you lose the player that's best at it. So the impact is double for the New Orleans Saints missing Mike Thomas. And it leads me to a take here that I would have never expected. But, like, ironically, Mike Thomas missing from this offense hurts more than Drew Brees missing from this offense. And who could have ever thought that that would be the case? And Brees was pretty good last night. Great scoring drive right before the half. Unfortunately, and this is the thing, because he was playing so well, you would have loved to see them keep it in his hands. And that's why, if you want to look at the reasons why you lost last night, or if we just want to highlight one thing, and in this case, I guess one play, everything turned on that Taysom Hill fumble. On a night, like we said, on a night where the defense has been terrible for an extended amount of time, they come up huge. That 4th and 1 stop was great. Malcolm Jenkins played a really good game. I know the defense, he had a little bit of Ollie Gay thing going on there, where the defense played bad, but he played well within that defense. But it was not enough. But he was a key member on getting that 4th and 1 stop. Lattimore comes flying in. They get it. All the momentum's with you. Brees in perfect position. A nice little first play. And then they stick Taysom in for the switch up. And the game turns on a dime. I mean, you end up turning the ball over. Green Bay goes down and scores. Then you go out of possession. Green Bay goes down and scores again. And that's the game. By the way, the Saints had scored 4 possessions in a row at that point. So they were in the zone. And it sucks. And like we said, man, money brings expectations. And when you get $10 million a year and you haven't had any impact, and then you finally have an impact, but it's a super negative one, people are going to be angry. The reactive thing here, I think, is like, well, get rid of the Taysom package. What are we doing? Well, you're already too committed to do that. So, but you don't need to do that. Like, it is, it is what it is. I will say this, though, when it comes to the Taysom package, I like him more as a weapon with Drew Brees on the field. I like him more as a tight end and maybe double pass that I don't like nearly as much when they line him up in that traditional quarterback role. And you saw him do it another time, too, early in the game, where he missed a wide open crosser over the middle that could have been a big play, and he ran for 7. But, I just don't think that you're maximizing Hill's potential or the offense's potential when you use him as a quarterback as opposed to as that kind of threat. So it sucked, man. It was a really rough game for the Saints. And I guess coming up next, I'm going to have to apologize to Aaron Rodgers, which it breaks my soul. But like we said, it's Tell the Truth Monday. Okay, so we got to be honest with ourselves. We got to be objective about our takes here. And I got to tell the truth that I was wrong on Drew Brees and Aaron Rodgers going into 2020. I remain steadfast that Brees was better the last 3 years, but I was wrong here going into 2020, and that's on me. Other thing from the game last night, the 52-yard touchdown is now my favorite play of this NFL season. It supplanted the Atlanta Falcons, it supplanted Greg Zuerlein's onside kick, which I was obsessed with, but that 52-yard touchdown, with McCoy leading the way, you kidding me? The big guy, the center, getting out there, Kamara's balance. And what can you say about Alvin Kamara? At least, if you were going to win that game last night, what a performance by AK. And it's what you're going to have. The only thing is, I just need Brees to show a little more trust in some of these other receivers. He's locked. He's like, it's fine to lock on Mike Thomas because you have Alvin Kamara in reserve. When you don't have Mike Thomas and then you're locked in on Kamara, it makes it tougher. Like on that 3rd and 5 screen that you mentioned, Musso, everybody knew that was coming.
It's telegraphed. You could look at the formation too.
Yeah.
It was just right there. And to your point about Mike Thomas, though, if Mike Thomas is there, that ball's going to him on a slant.
Yes,
on
exactly.
3rd and 5, that's a slant to Mike Thomas. He catches it, and they pick it up.
Yeah. And it's why, look, the air yards per target hasn't changed over the past 2 years.
No,
Mike Thomas has changed. That's the difference. So you need to get Mike Thomas as fast as you possibly can. You need him back. But that said, I still just love seeing Kamara step up in the way they did. I love when a guy gets paid and then elevates his game, because that speaks to motivation beyond the monetary, which I'm not judging anybody. My motivations would all be monetary. I'm not judging, but I get it if you get paid and take a step back. That's natural. But the guys that don't take steps back, they're the ones who have a sort of internal drive that you just can't teach, and they're the ones that go on to have the greatest career. So I love what Alvin Kamara did. How about this? Kind of lost in the shuffle. He became the Saints' all-time leader in multi-touchdown games.
I saw that.
How about it? And it's young. We're in here year number 4, and he's already. So congrats, Alvin Kamara. You are a ton of fun to watch. You're awesome. All right, coming up next here, I guess we're going to have to apologize to Aaron Rodgers, and then we'll get to some other NFL takes. This is OTB, OT. Thanks for hanging out.
OTB, OT. In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
When it's clearance time, smart customers rush to Richards Honda because all your favorite Honda models are at fantastic prices. And with our fanatical customer care, it's no wonder people call Richards Honda the smart choice.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens. Make that thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
T-Bob Hebert here with breaking news. Front to Back Boat Services is the shop to upgrade your boat tech this fall. With not one but two NMEA certified techs, who better to install your Panoptic sonar, your HD displays. You want to see the fish under the water before you even cast? They have that. Trolling motor you could control with your iPhone? They have that. So what are you waiting for? Get into Front to Back Boat Services right now. Upgrade your boat tech. Make your boating dreams come true. Front to Back Boat Services.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
Your Honda needs some TLC, and Richards Honda is the smart place to get it. With oil changes at just $39. And with so many service bays, you'll be in and out super fast.
It's a Monday edition of Game Time with Jimmy Ott and Ben Mintz. The guys recap all their picks from over the weekend, including LSU, Mississippi State, and Saints vs. Packers. We're live from Ivar's Bar and Grill from 6 to 8 p.m. on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with T-Bob Hebert, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Welcome back. Go TBOT. We're just talking about Dan Quinn and the Falcons and the break. And the Saints and trying to kind of figure out where we stand. I think 11-5, 10-6 makes sense. Which, granted, that's the most coward take possible. Because if you're a good team, just like mathematically, 11-5 is probably like the easiest record to say somebody's going to go. But it's going to get better from here on out. You have 4 games here. Where who is it on the 4 games? Somebody look up the Saints schedule real quick.
I looked it up last night. Let's see.
I had it last week.
It's the Lions, the Bears, the Chargers. Not in this order, by the way.
Yeah.
I can't remember the 4th.
Chargers
team.
are the best team out of it.
And the Panthers.
Okay, Lions, Bears, Chargers, Panthers. Yeah, Panthers don't look good. I can't remember. Do we get confirmation on what's wrong with McCaffrey? Did he play yesterday?
He did not play yesterday, and they won without him. Bridgewater had a nice day.
The Lions looked all right yesterday. They had a nice little bounce back game. But, I mean, those are teams you should beat. And the Bears, hey, I don't know. The Bears are undefeated.
Stop.
Bears are undefeated.
Stop.
Hey, what does Bill Parcells say, bro?
I don't care.
What does he say? You
The
know
Bears
what he
aren't
says.
good.
You know what does Bill Parcells say? Answer the question.
I'm not doing it.
Do it.
Nope.
Danny, do you know what Bill Parcells says?
Don't do it,
are
Danny.
what your record says you are.
Don't do it, Danny.
And the Bears say they're 3-0 and undefeated.
And you yourself, T-Bob, pointed out earlier that all 3 of those teams they've beaten are a combined 0-9.
Well, I thought they were, and then somebody pointed out to me, I guess the Lions won a game.
Okay, that's right. the
So
Lions.
now
fair,
it's 1-8.
The Bears should have lost that game too.
Yeah, no.
If not for DeAndre
the
Swift
Bears should have
having
lost every
popcorn.
game. The Bears should have lost every game. They just keep finding ways to win. So what is weird though, they put Foles in, so Trubisky's done. You don't make that switch for a game.
But Foles isn't good either.
I agree.
He came in and threw a pick.
I agree, but
on his first possession.
I agree, but then he did throw the game away. But then what if he does get good? Like we've seen, Foles can get on a heater. We've seen it multiple times in his career when he was in Philly. Not just the Super Bowl year, but like Chip Kelly, Philly.
I know.
Then comes back
28 touchdowns, 2 interceptions that year.
Yeah, so all I'm saying is the Bears are good enough in other areas to where they've been winning these games, and they play bad teams. But the defense, if they're good enough in other areas. And so if Foles does get on one of those heaters, then this 3-0 base becomes like such a nice cushion for them.
I don't think he's getting on that heater this year.
I mean, it's fine. Look, the Bears are not going to be a playoff threat anyway. And if you're the New Orleans Saints, you should beat them.
You should win that game.
I'm just saying that
win
they,
the next 4.
in an era where there's an extra playoff spot, they have set themselves up very nicely to get that extra playoff spot. The Chicago Bears have. Even though I feel like they're maybe the worst 3-0 team I've ever seen in my entire life. So way to go, Falcons. On Arthur Blank's birthday, on your owner's birthday, you did that to him? First team in NFL history to lose 2 15-point fourth-quarter leagues in the same season, and you do it in back-to-back weeks? Oof, boy. That's brutal. So I'm with you, man. I mean, I don't know what you're doing with Dan Quinn. You know he's fired, but I'm saying, do you wait? I guess, I don't know why you wait.
Why are you waiting? He shouldn't have been able to go to his post-game press conference
I guess
yesterday.
it's like, why are you waiting, but then why even do it, right? I mean, just start exploring options. Just start interviewing people, start talking to people, and just like, I don't know. I've always kind of felt this way. I guess sometimes you need to send a message, but like, just all my Atlanta friends were texting, and they were like, he should let Julio fire him.
Yeah, I mean,
Julio walk in there and be like, you have ruined the last 3 years of my career. I can't sniff a touchdown now.
I just saw the odds.
Get out of here.
The odds of which head coach gets fired first. Dan Quinn had 1 to 2 odds. It was the second, the leader. Adam Gase was number 2.
How Adam Gase is not fired is unreal to me.
There they are right here.
Good job putting that. Good. Now, see, that's a situation
Matt
where
Patricia's next, by the way.
Yeah,
Then
Matt
Bill
Patricia
O'Brien.
too. He might have been fired if they lost. The Adam Gase thing is truly untenable. Like it's just he was a terrible hire to begin with. Like his resume should not have dictated that he got hired. He had that really creepy opening press conference where it looked like he was coked out and his eyes were being all crazy and roving around. You should have fired him then, honestly. We said it at the time. That was a major red flag. And guess what? When you ignore, I'm sure Danny knows this, when you ignore red flags and you decide to stick in anyway, well, then you got to deal with the fallout, okay? You reap what you sow. And they planted their seed deep in Adam Gase, and they are now reaping his terrible football man children. I mean, it is just...
Look at that.
Look, that's crazy.
Oh.
And that's the guy that you're saying is going to fix the franchise. So, yeah, like Adam Gase's reputation should be in tatters after this in terms of being an offensive coach. He has to go the penance route and prove that he can be good again. So yeah, Adam Gase is probably even worse than Dan Quinn.
Not to mention his handling of the Jamal Adams.
I mean, yeah, that's exactly. Not
to
mention that. I still love that hyperdrive quote and what they score yesterday, like 11. Hey, but hey, look at me. I took him to win in the generation.
How'd that work out for you, T-Bob?
But your boy had a 2-1 weekend.
Okay.
So watch out now.
All right.
Look,
all right.
fortune favors the bold. I tried to give the Jets. Jets. I was so happy, and it just didn't work out. All right. We're going to have a clear line of demarcation here, Danny, so you can cut this for YouTube. Musso cues the music. It's time to get to the Aaron Rodgers apology. It was a rough weekend of football. It was a rough weekend for your boys' takes. Nobody likes to see their takes fall apart. I thought my takes were built on a solid foundation. The last 3 years, Drew Brees has been better than Aaron Rodgers, but. My take was, and going into 2020, Drew Brees was a better quarterback than Aaron Rodgers. And unfortunately, there's just no element of that that's true right now. Aaron Rodgers is playing fantastic. I called Aaron Rodgers the biggest fraud in the NFL. That seems a little aggressive from where we sit today. So I apologize for that as well. To all the Packers fans, I threw a bunch of dislikes on the fraud video. Congratulations. You've won the day. A tip of the cap, good sir. In these take tilts, sometimes you lose the joust, and I concede. So, Aaron Rodgers, and how about this? He even goes the extra mile of not having Davante Adams play, just to take any Mike Thomas excuses completely out of the equation. And then you look at stuff like air yards per target or whatever, which is overrated, but Brees definitely struggles with arm strength. Brees can't run. And then you see Rodgers last night running, throwing the ball on the run, flicking it 70 yards with his wrist. And we always do that about him, but it's much more effective this year. Look, LaFleur's good. Him and Aaron's relationship's really good. He's got more of a running attack, and even when it's not as successful like it was last night, they're at least committed to it, and Rodgers is benefiting for it. So, congratulations, cheeseheads. Enjoy this. You've won the day. You won Sunday Night Football. Aaron Rodgers is not the biggest fraud. If anything, Drew Brees looks like the biggest fraud from where we sit here on Tell the Truth Monday. And that's it. I got nothing more to say. Let's Tell the Truth Monday. And like I said here this whole show, and I've been telling y'all that I'm going to be as objective as I can about what I witnessed this weekend. And that's what I did with LSU. That's what I did with the Saints. And that's why I got to give credit to Aaron Rodgers. So, tip of the cap. All right. Let's go to break. Coming up next, I still hate you, Rodgers! You were bad the last 3 years. Don't put that on the YouTube video, Danny. You're a bum. We'll just leave everything else on there. All right, coming up next, Brandon Walker. Let's just keep the sad train rolling here. Tell the Truth Monday. We're going to have Brandon Walker on to Victory Lap. This is OTBOT. Stick around.
OTBOT. Off the Bench, hanging with Esther and Hanny. After further review and more are all live daily on the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge YouTube channel. Subscribe now to interact with us inside the live chat driven by Bayou Ford.
$11,000 off MSRP on a new 2020 Ford F-150. Buy a new one for less than a used one. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. And with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All Star Toyota today.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
Hey T-Bob, sports wouldn't be the same without the die-hard fans, so we're highlighting the fans that do it the most.
Every week, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge brings you the Citizens Bank Fan of the Week. Check it out, 1045ESPN.com.
It's the Citizens Bank Fan of the Week.
Yo, join us for an expanded Hanging with Hester and Hanny presented by Richards Honda on Monday. We'll get things kicked off at 10 o'clock live from Sammy's Grill in Baton Rouge and go all the way until 3. Join us on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with T-Bob Hebert, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Welcome back, OTB OT. Real quick here before we get to Brandon Walker, I would like to officially say, Danny, delete the Aaron Rodgers apology video. We are back. Skip Bayless tweeted 2 minutes ago, Drew Brees actually outplayed Aaron Rodgers last night. Now on Undisputed, so we're back. Brees is better than Rodgers. Skip said it.
You can't tie your wagon to Skip Bayless.
What's what is it like? Necessity makes odd
necessity is
friends?
the mother of invention. Is that what you're getting
there's
on
another
that?
one about like something making odd bedfellows.
You
I will
can't.
sleep with Skip Bayless. So we can unite over this take.
Easy,
All right.
easy.
Speaking of sleeping with people, Brandon Walker came on here last week and he told you to get ready for doggy style. After a decade of missionary, he said he was finally going to mix it up, try to hit that TD spot. And unfortunately, they did just that. Brandon, what's up, man?
Good morning to Bob. How are you?
Oh, you son of... Oh, my God. I hate you so much right now. All right. Okay,
listen,
get it off your
told
chest.
you.
What? Okay, yes. Okay, go.
I told you that you guys were going to wake up from a dream, and Dave Aranda would be gone, and Joe Brady would be gone, and Joe Burrow would be gone, and you're left just laying next to Ed Orgeron, and that's the worst thing you can wake up next to. And I told you we were switching from missionary to doggy style, and what a weekend we had. I mean, it was crazy hotel sex. I loved it.
I mean, okay, let's be clear. Coach O is in incredible shape. His jaw is as square as a 90-degree angle. Like, I would have no problem waking up next to that man, and I remain in bed with that man, and it will get better, okay? This year, I don't know what's going to happen this year. Recruiting's good. It's going to get better. What about for y'all now, Brent? I mean, where's your head at now? The big win, beat the number 6 team on the road. Mike Leach looking like a genius. He did coach circles around LSU, so, I mean, tip of the cap there. That is absolutely true here. So, how you feeling?
I'm not going to get ahead of myself, but
Okay.
I was going to text you later. I was going to text you later and get Sugar Bowl advice. Where should I stay? Where should I go? For the national title game, I don't even know where it is this year. I need to find out. And what's the best route for a parade in Starkville? I know you've been there, so we got to figure all that out because Mike Leach is here, and things done changed in the SEC.
Hey, so what was your, as a Mississippi State fan watching that game, what was your favorite part Saturday? Like, is there a play or a sequence that stands out above them all?
You know what? This is real talk. This isn't even a joke. But we have gone down to – and LSU fans don't want to admit this, but the series has been tighter at times than you think.
Well,
LSU
it's because they had the
usually wins
18-year streak, but like the last 7 games, is it split down the middle?
Right, that. But LSU usually wins the game, but it's always close, and we do something to wreck our chances. Well, in Baton Rouge the other day, we were up 34-24, and then 2 big mistakes, a pick and a fumble. All of a sudden, it's 34-34 with 9 minutes left. Most Mississippi State teams would fold at that moment. Mississippi State put their foot on LSU's throat, scored the last 10 points, and left no doubt who the better team was. That was crazy.
Yeah, that's accurate. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of victory lapping after those turnovers. I was sitting here dancing on stream.
I don't blame you. It felt like every LSU Mississippi State game ever.
I was dancing on stream. I was talking crap to our Mississippi State favorite part of the show, Rivers Huey, our old producer. I was like, "Chirp at us now, Rivers. Where are you at?" And then, well, that didn't age well, did it?
Well, that's you chirping at a woman. I hope you felt real good.
You sent me a pic. Hey, it's 2020. If they can't, I mean, come on, bro. It's all about equality, gender equality. I'm going to treat them the same way that I would treat you. Okay,
that's true. That's on me.
You sent me a picture, and it is me and my co-host Emil looking utterly defeated in the studio. But I don't believe this picture came from a video I tweeted out. So did you go into the live stream and scrub to when we were most sad and then screenshot that?
My God, I wish I could take credit for that. No, somebody in the Mississippi State message board circles captured you guys, and they might have did a little touch-up work because I've never seen a face like yours in that picture. I don't know how you made your mouth do that. It looked like somebody just attacked the United States when LSU went down to Kylan Hill.
It was a big like oof. It was just the ultimate like ugh, just a sigh.
I don't know how you made your mouth do that. It just looks like pure pain in a picture. It's my favorite. It's my screensaver on my phone. I've got it at Barstool headquarters.
Damn it! God! All right. So LSU loses to Mississippi State. Hey, you got to feel good about KJ Costello, bro. I mean, come on, dude.
I gotta feel good about it. Why?
I mean, is this like Burrow? Are you seeing Burrow 2.0? I'm saying, like, where's the ceiling on this? Don't be scared. Be bold, doggy style. Are we talking about a Heisman winner here?
I'd hate to insult KJ Costello by comparing him to Joe Burrow. I mean, this was miles above Joe Burrow. This was walking into a rival's house that pretty much owns you and just kicking your feet all over. 623 yards against DBU. You can't be DBU anymore. It's done.
Yeah, somebody this morning said that they were more like DBCC, which, I think that's pretty appropriate. Yeah, that plays, unfortunately.
I was shocked. I was shocked by KJ Costello. The throws he was making, the over-the-shoulder throws, and then I was more shocked by LSU just allowing the crossing route all day long.
Yeah, I mean, that's our big complaint on this side of the equation, even though I was painfully clear in the postgame. You did not lose that game. Mississippi State beat you. Like you have to be clear about that. You could not guard them. They torched you. KJ Costello dropping in throws. But yeah, the big thing that everybody's frustrated about here is why did you just keep playing that tight pump and run, man? I mean, Mike Leach was just feasting on it.
I mean, you went to the antique store and got Bo Pelini out of a glass case. I don't know what you thought was going to happen there. This isn't 2004. This isn't Bo Pelini's prime. I mean, what did you think was going to happen, LSU?
I mean, you know how it is, Brandon. You do these things, and it's been so good. You take the optimistic approach. I mean, we're sitting here talking like LSU could go 8-2. We returned 3 starters. So it's a Tell the Truth Monday. We're being honest with ourselves. We got to adjust our expectations.
You don't get to do that.
What?
Last week, all I heard when I would say LSU's only bringing back 3 starters, LSU would say, yeah, but our backups are more talented than Mississippi State.
I know, and I was wrong. I was dead wrong. I just got to admit I was dead wrong. Even Stu Gott said it in pregame. He said that exact thing, and he was dead wrong. We were all wrong. We put no respect on the Mississippi State. Like, we were making fun of their playmakers. Y'all had 3 receivers go over 100 yards. Also,
we only had 5 starters come back, and we had an entire coaching change. We had more change than LSU.
That's a funny point. You only had 5 starters back. I don't think I quite realized that. Oh, geez.
Yeah, LSU was worse than the SEC in returning production. Mississippi State's second worst.
Wow, that's some salt in the wound that I don't know that I needed today. That kind of hurts like the same way watching Aaron Rodgers hard count an empty Superdome did last night. It reminds you of that scene in Texas Chainsaw Massacre where Leatherface cuts off his legs and then just packs the bloody stumps with salt. That's how I feel on this Monday.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about with Aaron Rodgers. I didn't watch the Aaron Rodgers game. I was watching Mississippi State LSU replay for the 5th time. So I'm sure it was good. I don't know. Go Aaron Rodgers, go Saints. But the 5th viewing was just as good as the first.
Really, how many times have you watched it so far?
I've watched it in full twice, and I've watched the extended 30-minute highlight package 5 times.
Gotta love an extended highlight package when it's a game that you're so happy that you won. I think I did the same thing with Alabama last year. It's just one of the greatest feelings on this earth. All right, SEC West hierarchy, Brandon. And so you can be tongue in cheek, but I kind of because football, you're a great gambler. So give it to me here. SEC West hierarchy. After week 1 of the SEC, how do you feel about it?
I would put Alabama number 1 because that's where Alabama belongs right now. It's obvious. I'm going to shock you at number 2. I think A&M just sleptwalked and played. I think A&M's going to be really, really good this year. That defense is going to be nasty. I think Mississippi State is 3. LSU is 4. Auburn, who is phony, they're overrated. They got the benefit of a bad call against Kentucky, and then Kentucky went in the tank. Kentucky dominated that first half, and Auburn got lucky. Auburn is 5th. Ole Miss 6, Arkansas 7.
Okay. I mean, dude. Okay. Okay. Let's get to Ole Miss then. They got smoked by Florida. It seemed like Lane Kiffin did some all right things, though. How you feel about the Egg Bowl?
Don't do this.
Hey, they moved the ball. They had Plumlee and Corral on the field at the same time. That was cool.
Do you remember last year when LSU went up like 38-0 on Ole Miss, and then John Rice Plumlee after the game was over ran for like 200 yards?
Yeah.
Everybody got excited.
Yeah.
Florida just kept building. Florida had 9,000 points, couldn't get stopped. They weren't interested in stopping Ole Miss. They were just trying to get the ball back. Ole Miss leads the country in plastic yards. That was fake.
Okay, how about this then? On the SEC East, they were already my pick, but is Florida the clear pick now over Georgia?
I don't think so because we haven't seen Georgia yet. When JT Daniels gets cleared, and rest assured it's coming, then we'll see Georgia. I don't think we've seen Georgia yet. So what Florida did at Ole Miss, fine, but they're not going to do that against Georgia. Georgia has the best defense in the country. So I put them at 1A and 1B. I don't think you can separate those two. But I will say behind them, it's a mess. Tennessee didn't look good.
No.
Kentucky didn't look good. And then the rest of the teams, Will Muschamp needs to get fired tomorrow.
Thank you.
So the rest of the SEC East is trash.
I mean, what has Will Muschamp ever done? Why does Will Muschamp get paid $4 to $5 million to coach football? Like, who is agreeing to this money?
Can you imagine watching a coach fail at Florida and saying, hey, come coach us. It's a tougher situation here, but maybe you'll work out. What was South Carolina thinking in the first place?
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, I think I know you're going to answer this. So we're talking to Brandon Walker, host of Walk the Line, Necessary Roughness at BWalkerSEC. Catch him on Barstool. Kyle Trask or KJ Costello?
Oh, my God. Really? What are you talking about? What are you doing? One goes to Vaught Hemingway Stadium in front of a dozen fans and throws for 400 yards and 5 touchdowns against the worst defense in the conference, and the other goes to Tiger Stadium against DBU and drags it all up and down the field. KJ Costello by a mile.
Hey, yeah, but look, man, we had no Derek Stingley. We had no Glenn Logan. I mean, I just think there's a lot of reasons why it went down the way it did. I mean, hey, but credit to you.
If I asked you last week, you know what? How do you think about LSU's talent? You would have said, I don't care if Derek Stingley plays. I don't care who plays. I don't care if Ed Orgeron plays. Mississippi State's down. They're going to lose by 100. That's what you would have said.
Yeah, no, I mean, I made the mistake of being a coward and backing off my own takes. My initial takes was that you should be worried about Leach and Costello and everything. You're replacing so much, and everybody was just like, nah, I don't think so. And so, yeah, I came around. I should have stuck with it because you should have been worried. You should have been terrified. So,
real
Brandon,
talk.
Yeah, real talk. What you got?
Real talk. Everybody said, would it work in the SEC? Would the air raid work in the SEC? He just walked into the national champs house. I don't care how many starters that came back and showed it will work. There's not a lot of teams in the SEC with DB talent like LSU.
Well, how about this, Brandon? Mike Leach, regardless of what you think about Mississippi State, Mike Leach has the best athletes that he's ever had, right?
And
Texas Tech,
the best access to athletes as well.
Yeah, Texas Tech, Washington State, whatever they were in their own conferences, there was not as many athletes as he has now in Starkville. So, congrats, man. Enjoy it. Anything to say here on the way out? A final shot.
No, Bob, I am a classic guy. I would be remiss if I came on your show and did a touchdown dance about Mississippi State absolutely clowning LSU at their place and exposing Ed Orgeron for being a bad head coach. I'm not going to do it.
All right, Bill Walker, you have a great day, and we will.
We'll talk soon, right?
We will talk soon. We will talk soon. Enjoy it. Enjoy.
Super duper. Go Tigers.
Oh my God, dude, that felt like Aaron Rodgers on that Demario Davis hard count right there. Just salt in the wound. I mean, Aaron friggin' Rodgers just so harshly reminding you that there were no fans in the dome. I mean, some of the most aggressive hard counting I've ever heard in my entire life. I felt like he was doing it just to trigger me at times, not even to be successful, just to make me specifically very angry. Thank God for Skip Bayless. Where would we be without him? Drew Brees is still better, Aaron. Just threw my pen by accident. All right, we'll be back more OT next here on 104.5 ESPN.
OTB, OT. Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
Do you know someone who sets a good example for all of us to follow? Someone who, without being asked, shows leadership, selflessness, and service to their community? We believe that's the definition of a good citizen, and so does Citizens Bank and Trust.
So, if you know someone that sounds like what Jordy was just describing, nominate them to be your good citizen, and they'll have a chance to win $500 from Citizens Bank and Trust. Plus, we'll mention him right here on the show. So go to citizensbankandtrust.com for more details and nominate your good citizen.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens, make not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I build a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
T-Bob Hebert here with breaking news. Front to Back Boat Services is the shop to upgrade your boat tech this fall. With not one, but 2 NMEA certified techs. Who better to install your Panoptic sonar, your HD displays? You want to see the fish under the water before you even cast? They have that. Trolling motor you could control with your iPhone? They have that. So what are you waiting for? Get into Front to Back Boat Services right now. Upgrade your boat tech. Make your boating dreams come true. Front to Back Boat Services.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Prompt, professional, reliable. If you're looking for a breath of fresh air with your AC and heating needs, call the professionals at Anison Bitter. Anison Bitter, a Rheem Pro partner, keeping your family comfortable for over 25 years.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Monday's AFR presented by Relief Windows. We'll hear from Ed Ogeron as he recaps LSU Mississippi State, and we'll talk Saints Packers. Join us Monday, 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with T-Bob Hebert, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
What up, what up, what up, what up? Welcome back. I don't know why I keep doing that. It's like a wubba lubba dub dub thing from Rick and Morty. I need to probably chill on that. So I apologize if you don't enjoy it. I'll try to relax. And now my awkward intro has completely had me forget where I was going to go with this segment. I had Hooters. Game day, baby. That's right. Look, hey, bottom line, y'all. When you think of game day, I want you to think of Hooters, okay? You don't want to cook. You don't want to worry about any of that BS. Download the Hooters To Go app. On the app, you win free great prizes. In fact, when you download the app, you actually get a free appetizer, so that's great. You can do wings to fly. So that means that, like I said, you don't have to worry about cooking. You go pick up those delicious Hooters wings tossed in that sauce that you know you love so much. And then you bring it home and you watch the game. You eat tasty breaded Hooter wings. Like, what's better than that? So for all your game day food needs, whether you go to Hooters.com, Hooters To Go, and order, or you download that Hooters app, get a free app among other prizes. Hooters, still your home for football and for game day, even during the pandemic. So score a touchdown with Hooters today and get more Hooters. I'm trying to get the Pigskin Princess thing going again. I don't know what the deal is. Hopefully we will. I mean, Asia beat me last year in picks, so.
I was going to say, do you really want to do that again?
Hell yeah, dude. I need revenge. Come on.
You just want to wear the outfit again.
I thought I looked good in it. I mean, not gonna lie. And I feel like I'm in better shape now.
Oh, hey, now.
Like after that was pre-Peloton. Now I got the Peloton. I feel like, dude, put me in some Hooter shorts right now. I mean,
now.
Next thing you know, I'm off the show. I'm an Insta model. I'm making mad money. I'm just like endorsing like yoga pants. And like smoothies, or maybe like cups. Like I don't know. Like what do Insta models? What do they advertise?
Bang energy drinks.
Oh yes. I'm just
NBA.
slamming. Yeah, I'm just slamming Bang energy drinks while being like, I'm gonna do like a picture of my ass and then just put like a peach as the entire post, and then it'll be like drink Bang, or like Bang Peach. So hey, look,
Bang Peach.
If you're out there, Bang Energy, I'm right here. Check it out.
What day would you do that segment on, though? We have the Degeneration Dome on Friday.
It was always after the show. It was always after the show on Facebook Live. So now we would just do it after the show on YouTube Live.
Yeah,
hopefully.
you should get that going then. Yeah,
I agree. Avo Marzwani, T-Bob just wants Asia back in the studio. Chill, Avo. Okay, let's all relax a little bit.
You're
I'm a
married
married
with 2
man.
kids.
Yeah,
Let's calm down.
You're sickening, Avo. Don't you know when you get married, you stop looking at any other? Danny wants Asia. Yeah, exactly.
Is he married to like some military guy or something?
Yes, so he would probably kill me as well. So yeah, no, not happening. Bryn Simoneau, 9-1 LSU.
Stop.
9-1 LSU gets in over 1-loss OU and 7-0 Oregon. Hey, there you go, baby. Brent gets it. Glass half full.
No.
Okay?
That's not half full, man. That's runneth over. That's a fresh cup of sunshine with your morning right there.
Yeah. Unfortunately, no, that's not gonna happen. Like I stand right now. Oh, sorry, Moose. Continue.
This is 2017. That's what this is, okay? September in 2017 was miserable. You got drugged by 30 in Starkville.
Yeah.
You lost to Troy. You were 2-2.
Yeah.
You rallied and ended up 9-3.
Yeah.
You kind of wet the bed in the bowl game, so it felt a little sour taste. But you need to treat this year now just like that, because this is but if you rally and go 7-3,
oh, that's a great season. Yeah, I agree. 7-3 would be great,
and they can get to 7-3.
Yes,
because they're not going to be as bad as they were all year on Saturday, and they were
I agree.
bad. That was a failure on Saturday.
I agree. It's like our our NFL Week 1 overreactions, where your overreaction, but you do it anyway. But you do expect a lot of these teams to find their level. It's kind of how like the Lions come back and they beat the Cardinals, despite you would have never thought that they would beat the Cardinals going into it.
This is 2017 all over again.
So
you did it then, do it now.
Interesting about that is they talk about a lack of leadership on Saturday. Well, adversity reveals the man, right? Adversity shows you who your leaders are going to be. If you think back to that Mississippi State Troy sequence, that was the emergence of Devin White.
It was.
That was when he took the team aside and he said, this is BS. We got guys not studying their playbook. We got guys not doing this, not doing that. And he turned around that season. They need someone else to try to step up in that same way. Now, the hard part about this, as Verge said earlier in the show, leadership's not just talking, right? It's doing. And Devin White could do. You have some guys that can do here too, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. All right, this was Tell the Truth Monday. I think we all needed this. It was cathartic. I guess my overall take on the game Saturday is I remain disappointed in a lot of aspects, offensively and defensively. Quarterback play, nobody's immune. Brennan has a lot to improve on, but there's also some really nice building blocks there. I think if we're being fully objective, like you can win with him this season, but it's going to take the defense being far better. And ultimately, the defense is the story of the day Saturday. But I think they'll improve as well. So, hey, at least you got Vandy this Saturday, right? I mean,
make an example
at least you got
out of little old Vanderbilt.
All right, so thank you to everybody who stopped by the show today. Huge thank you to Matthew Musso and Danny Cardenas doing the best production work in the business as always. And we will be back with more OTB tomorrow. Coach O, listen for it.
OTB, OT.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens, make not thousands of